We are live for Friday Night Football here on SJP World Media. This is the Volley, this is Matt, this is Dan. Let's get into it.
The following is a Matt Attack production for SJP World Media.
Indeed, the Volley is now live here on SJP World Media, a Matt Attack production, being brought to you here by Matt Niverson, Matt Lewis, and by my co-host, to my left, you're right here, Mr. Dan Griffin. How are you, sir?
Not too bad at all, mate. Not too bad at all. It's been a long week, but we're getting some Friday night Premier League action, so it's all good in the end.
Yes, and it's very rare that a Premier League watch-along actually takes second billing, isn't it, Tagging? That some idiot decided to put a Premier League game in the middle of transfer deadline day.
It's absolute madness, but we'll bring the transfer updates as they come through. I've got one eye on social media, so I'll be sorting that. But I'm really excited for this, just to linger on the football for a second, because it's our first time this season at Kenilworth Road, and I've been looking forward to seeing how this stadium plays out for Luton. Is it going to be a cauldron? Is it going to be a real fortress and a place that teams fear to go?
Needs to be. It needs to be. They've played some good football, but they've been outplayed for most of the season so far already. We're only 3 games in. Well, it'll be their 3rd game, of course. So it had a game postponed because it wasn't finished being built. In fact, this afternoon, someone was actually in there drilling still, which feels very British, not quite ready to go, but here we go anyway, sort of thing. The boss in the chat. Oh, yes, the boss is in. Evening sight. How are you, sir?
Do me buttons up. Hang on.
Absolutely. So we will get to more about Luton and everything right now, but in the chat, if you are joining us, do feel to throw in there your favourite things from deadline day so far, or your favourite transfer stories. We want to hear them. Dan, this is Luton's first home game in the top flight since 1992, when they beat Aston Villa 2-0.
It is, and sorry, I'm getting distracted because I've got the team lineups on my phone, and Sharon, please stop sending me Cody gifs. I don't want to see them. I appreciate you watching, but I don't need the gifts. Yeah, it is Luton's first home game, first in the top flight. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, speaking of the things, the teams that are scrolling along the bottom there, guys. So feel free to peruse those whilst me and Dan talk about Luton.
Yeah, they just need to, the coach Rob Edwards was saying before the game, they need to take inspiration from the first 20 minutes against Chelsea and just do more of what they were doing, because they were solid at the back. Kaminski already looks a Premier League keeper. It's probably a bit too early to say that, but he's certainly done himself proud. Ryan Giles is looking solid on that left wing back position. And on paper, their midfield is Premier League worthy. You've got Tahith Chong signed from Man United, Marvellous Nakamba, yes, thank you, Sharon. Marvellous Nakamba, who's got plenty of Premier League experience, and Ross Barkley, who has been at the highest level, been to tournaments with England. So
and he's easy on the eye as well. Just saying, Cameron.
He's actually.
Yeah.
Who?
Cameron
my brother.
And also our roving reporter Konor McCabe in the chat today, saying hello. Ward Prowse and Bowen, captain and vice captain today. Might work out for you, dude. Might work out for you.
On a fantasy football note, Cam, do you want to tell the chat what you've done with your fantasy football team today?
Ruin it, maybe. Ruin it.
One thing I want to touch on.
Yes, mate.
So one thing I want to touch on with Luton as well is the partnership up top. We were talking off air as we saw on Sky Sports News. 30 goals between them in the championship. Yeah, Adebayo and Morris, captain for the day, Carlton Morris. So if they can bring that, to the Premier League, or even I dare say, half of that, then they'll be in for an okay season.
Cam said he's triple captain Bowen. To be fair, that might work out for you today. I've captained Darwin Núñez last week. It worked out for me. People are now thinking maybe Matt does know what he's talking about. No, said nobody ever. Said nobody ever. But I was right. But I was right last week. Absolutely was right last week.
By look rather than judgment, yes.
Perhaps. Speaking of James Ward-Prowse, James Ward-Prowse obviously is starting on a house of fire so far for West Ham United. He's key today, would you think, that?
Well, he's certainly been key so far. Absolutely. It's looking a really tidy playing the 4-2-3-1. I hesitate to use the phrase double pivot because I don't really know what it means. But Ward-Prowse and Edson Alvarez, two new signings, seem to be complementing each other well in midfield. Edson Alvarez doing more of the donkey work, so to speak, the more defensively minded, filling in a more right sort of role. It's a strange one. It's another instance where West Ham almost look a more balanced team without a star player, a bit like what's happened at Spurs.
Yeah. I think a double pivot, Dan. I could be wrong. The chat will correct me if I'm wrong here. I think a double pivot is because players, if you're in that position, you're pivoting between facing the front and facing the back.
Right. Okay.
I could be wrong, but that's what my logic's going with it anyway. Kind of a good question for us. How do we feel about Liverpool's Europa draw?
Very positive. Very positive.
I'm quite happy with it. I'm very happy with it. It's certainly better than Newcastle's draw was.
And better than Brighton's, actually. Brighton's
I haven't seen Brighton's draw.
Let me just find that again for you. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves.
While you're doing that, Connor is saying a double pivot is two central defensive midfielders. That's all it means.
Oh, fair enough.
So yeah, we were both right then. Both right then for sure. What have you found there, Dan?
I haven't found any of it yet. I'm still live googling.
This is where Dan's Wi-Fi starts to say revert to type back in the 80s.
Oh God! Hang on, I need to feed the whippet that's running on the track that's powering me electricity.
So you're joking.
So Brighton,
I don't know if you are.
Brighton have got Ajax and Marseille in their group, and AEK Athens.
That's not going to be easy to go either. There's a bit of cauldron over there.
Yeah, West Ham have got Olympiacos, Freiburg, and TSC Bakatopola.
That sounds like a bad hand in countdown, not a football team.
Rangers have got Real Betis, Sparta Prague, and Aris Limassol.
That's actually a reasonably tricky group for them.
Yeah, and we've got LASK Linz, Union Saint-Gilloise, and Toulouse.
And no doubt the jokes about Liverpool going to lose. Jokes we're doing the rounds because, of course, all the anti-Liverpool fans will be doing that.
Well, funnily enough, I think I wanted us to draw Olympiacos for the history in that fixture. But if memory serves, I don't know why I remember this. I seem to remember Andrei Voronin scoring a goal for us against Toulouse to qualify for the Champions League one year.
Yes.
I'll need to double check that. But
yeah, he
did. Nice to do that.
He did, and it was terrible. Oh my God, Cam is throwing shade here. I turn my Wi-Fi off when I go around down because it's so horrific. Wow.
Do you still want to borrow my car tomorrow, Cam?
I didn't know you drove, Dan. I thought you were driven.
No, I drive.
I thought people drove you, mate. I thought you had the authority to have someone drive you around.
And I'm most definitely the chauffeur, not the chauffeur.
Fair enough. It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, if you are just joining us and this is your first time catching the volley, welcome. This is Matt and Dan bringing you about to bring you live alternative commentary of Luton Town versus West Ham United from the Premier League on Brentford deadline day. We have got already we've got the chats kicking off between chatting with each other. We'll get on with it for now. Cam is saying just facts. And then yes, please, pretty much praying. So behave yourself, Cam, or maybe you won't get the car we're wanting. Kenilworth Road is about to become the 61st different ground to host a Premier League fixture.
Oh, that's madness. I love it. Also, the smallest capacity as well. Oof, Luton Town only have 4 shots on target in the 2 Premier League games so far. And West Ham are in their joint best start. It's going to be nice to see a full game of Mikel Antonio because, as anybody who's listened to the wrap-up podcasts will know, I am a fan of Mikel Antonio. His work ethic and repositioning at the age he did is just frankly ridiculous. I think he's a superb professional and a cracking footballer. But I'm interested as well to see Lucas Paquetá. Didn't watch a lot of West Ham last season, but very intrigued to see how him, Ben Rama and Bowen do supporting Antonio.
It looks like that transfer's completely off the table now as well, doesn't it? Not just because of the betting controversies potentially, but it looks like Man City did a lot of business today. One out, one in. I know that Nunez has gone in, but I'm surprised Cole Palmer's left. I'll be honest.
I don't understand any young player going to Chelsea. That squad is so big, and there's so much competition. Best noise in the world. There's so much competition for places, and even with Pochettino there, and as well as they played against Luton last week, it seems so scattergun and not quite sort of cohesive in its approach and what they're trying to do. I can't see it yet with Chelsea.
No, and I generally thought we were going to see Cole Palmer come through and basically follow in Phil Foden's footsteps, for lack of a better term.
Especially with De Bruyne out, it's going to mean more starts for Foden, but also Foden's going to need a rest, so Cole Palmer will be the next in line, you'd think.
Absolutely, Cam says, got to pop off before kick-off to tend to offspring, hopefully head back in later on. We're here for quite a while tonight, Cam, because we'll be covering the transfer window closing at 11 p.m. tonight. So guys, chip in with this guys in the chat. Dan, as we're approaching kickoff here, I want to ask your opinion about who's been the biggest acquisition on deadline day so far. Is it Cole Palmer?
I think he's the most expensive. Certainly, he's just so unproven. I can't really call him the biggest acquisition. Liverpool have signed a player with a lot of potential in Ryan Gravenberch. It hasn't quite. Well, we hope Liverpool have. It hasn't quite been.
We've been corrected, by the way, Dan, already. It's Ryan Gravenberch. It's pronounced.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, well, that's not going to create any hysteria with the fans, is it? At all?
No, not at all.
We've got a Gravenberch playing for us.
But I think actually, I've just remembered Spurs have signed Brennan Johnson, and I've been sort of waxing lyrical this week about the link-up play on the wings for Spurs with Doji and Son on one wing and Porro and Kulusevski on the other. But Brennan Johnson's pace replacing Richarlison's lack of anything could be absolutely lethal. I think that's a great signing, and also we need to rejoice and hail the return of a footballing god, because to replace Brennan Johnson, it looks like Nottingham Forest are bringing in the man, the myth, the legend, Divock Origi.
They have just apparently poached him from Bournemouth under Bournemouth's noses, which feels. I'm very happy to see Origi back. I'm a big fan of his. We're always at Barcelona, Divock, as they say.
And Newcastle and Everton.
Yes, indeed, but in particular, and also the Champions League final, of course, when he scored in Madrid.
And we're off.
We are underway here at Kenilworth Road. Football is back at Kenilworth Road. The ball is launched forward towards Mikel Antonio, and it's collected by Kaminski in the goal for Luton Town.
Already patrolling like a top keeper, Kaminski there. He could see what West Ham were trying to do before they'd even done it with Antonio.
I've got my volume right down on my TV and my headphone on, and my God, that sounds loud.
I can hear it through your side, through your feed. It's amazing. It's a nice little bit of ambient noise.
Yeah, but I need to take it down a little bit, otherwise Sky might make a copyright claim.
Well, that's true, yeah.
So yeah, there are a lot of notable deals that have gone on today, that have gone through while Luton are in an attacking position here. The notable ones, of course, is goalkeeper Bayinda, done deal to Man United. Cole Palmer, done deal to Chelsea. Nunes, done deal to City. The biggest surprise, in a good way, Ansu Fati from Barca to Brighton on loan. That's a great signing.
That's insane.
That's insane, Fisher.
We live in a time where that can happen.
Arguably equally insane, Reguilon from Tottenham to Man United on loan, when all Chelsea wanted was 7 million for the loan of Cucurella.
Well, yeah,
I think you can't fork up 7 million for, in your opinion, a better player, and in my opinion, a better player too. Dominguez from Bologna to Nottingham Forest. Johnny Evans has officially signed his 1-year contract today, and Callum Hudson-Odoi to Forest as well. Forest love a window
for £5 million. So I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, Bayern Munich bid 50 million for Callum Hudson-Odoi, and Chelsea turned it down. And he's just left for 5 million. I hope this is the start of something great for Hudson-Odoi, because he's shown flashes of being a superb player, and he's never really got a run in a side in England anyway. He's been out on a couple of loans, but he's never really got a run to prove what he can do.
No, and for context, everybody, the anyone who signed on deadline day is not eligible to play for their new clubs this weekend, because the weekend fixtures have started. Yeah. So I don't know who. So yeah, anyone who wants to play their new signings, you can blame Luton and West Ham United for that.
I was wrong actually about Hudson-Odoi. He's only actually been out on one loan, and it was to Bayer Leverkusen. And actually breaking transfer news. Sorry, from Leicester.
Button?
Nah, not really. It's only Leicester. They've sold Boubakary Soumare to Sevilla.
I got more news from Leicester as well, and that's Bournemouth, after being snaffled for the signing of Divock Origi, have apparently have always got the deal done for Patson Daka from Leicester.
Really? Patson Daka? I'd seen they were going for...
Mags, our friend Mags is a big lover of Patson Daka, and hopefully he could, if he does go to Bournemouth, that would be a good signing. He needs games.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, if you're going to try and get a Leicester striker, I'd be going for Iheanacho. He's proven he can score at the Premier League level. I'd say Vardy, but he's getting on in years, and I don't think he wants to leave
Luton
Leicester
take possession here.
Oh, go on. That's Tai Chong, isn't it?
And look, it's rather congested penalty area, and should have gone for goal, mate.
Yeah, wrong option, but I can see what he was trying to do.
We're getting some blood and thunder here down already. We're only 4 minutes in.
Yeah, just a touch. The game's not really heated up yet.
Yeah, but Luton and West Ham, they're two old school teams, two old school clubs for me. They're two clubs that like a tackle historically, not afraid to get a foot in. This should be good. Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of fun. I actually really like how Kenilworth Road looks on TV. You can see the sky in the background on some of the shots. It looks it's an old school stadium. and it's just a bit of footballing nostalgia. And I mean that in a nice way. I'm not trying to take the piss or anything, because I know there's been a lot of chatter about Luton and the away end being treated as a meme and a joke and all of that. But
yeah, and
it's genuinely exciting.
And that's showed it out for a goal kick to Luton. The matter joke about the away fans having to go through someone's front door as one of the turnstiles and go, taking the wrong turn up top of the stairs, and instead of going into the stand, they actually end up in some teenage boy's bedroom, and thinking like, no, that's too far for that joke one. Then it is amusing for sure. It's amusing for sure.
It is, but also it's fantastic to see a club like Luton Town get to this stage. It feels like it reminds me of another team in Orange who got to the Premier League against the odds, Blackpool. When they came up, it was a big party, and everybody was excited to see how teams got on at Bloomfield Road.
Yeah, a double foul there. Adebayo is back up again, and moving forward they go. Let's not forget as well that we usually say this at the start of a game, but we didn't, so I apologise for that. Obviously, we on the Volley and at SJP World Media, we obviously endorse the Kick It Out campaign, kick discrimination out of football and every walk of life. There's no room for it anywhere. Right, so with that being said, 7th minute of the game, free kick is delivered deep into the box, and looks like it's up in the air, still a bit of head tennis. And just thump downfield back to Luton centre halves.
Yeah, I was just thinking actually. It reminded me with that ball into the box and a bit of head tennis. Have you ever seen that Twitter account where it's a crap 90s football?
No, I haven't, mate. No, to be honest, no.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's the glory days of penalty boxes like bogs and players making just challenges that miss by a mile, and the ball just bobbling around, and somebody trying to poke it home but falling on their arse. It's just clips of absolute glory.
I will have to check it out. I wasn't aware that such a thing existed. As West Ham building now, down the right. Kufal.
He's been some signing as Kufal. I think he was relatively cheap.
He was. He slowly built himself into it, and let's face it, most of his team won a European trophy last season.
Yeah. Paquetá dropping deep and.
A lot of people can't say that they've done that. I mean, David Moyes is the first British manager to win a European trophy.
Oh, what a ball over the bar.
Oh, who was the last one before David Moyes?
Ferguson.
No. Must be. Yeah, must be.
I think so, yeah, because Klopp, Pep, Klopp, Mourinho.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dan. I think David Moyes is the first British manager. First English manager since I don't know who.
Tuchel for Chelsea, Roberto Di Matteo for Chelsea. Yeah, I think it's Alex Ferguson with the Champions League final
in Moscow. Yeah.
Yeah. When Terry slipped.
Yeah, ironic how he slipped, and it's not. Oh, that's poor. That's poor from Dalton, the fullback.
Not quite there, but early days.
It is early days. They're finishing into the game, but you expect better from Premier League fullback, wouldn't you?
Well, he's only been a Premier League fullback for 188 minutes.
We're obviously waiting for several deals to go through still on deadline day. Here's the ones that we are still waiting to be confirmed. We're waiting for the deal for Gravenberch to be finalised. Bournemouth are trying to sign Sinistera from Leeds. Rob Holding to Crystal Palace from Arsenal for $4 million is set to be confirmed. Burnley have agreed a deal with Chelsea to sign Ian Matson.
35 million, isn't it?
Not sure, but he's not agreed personal terms at this moment. Tottenham have agreed a fee of 45 million in excess of to sign Brennan Johnson.
I still think that could be one of the signings of the season.
Yeah, at Forest have been linked with a £30 million move for PSV midfielder Ibrahim Sangare. Also expected to sign Divock Origi on loan. We mentioned that. United have agreed a loan deal for Fiorentina's Sofiane Amrabat.
Sorry to cut you off. That is a very. Yeah. I know it's a fairly standard deal in terms of the way it's going to play out, but it's taken them so long to get to it. And as Liverpool fans, we're used to some weird dealings this season. But for United to wait for so long and then to finally say, well, here's a loan with a £10 million fee, and then you can have 20 million plus 5 million add-ons if we decide to sign him afterwards.
Yeah. Something like we mentioned about Cucurella, the chance that they had to sign him for 7 million on loan, and they've signed Reguilon. It's odd. We've got another one is Everton hoping to secure a return loan deal for Mope. Brentford are.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's a bit of a strange one. And just something coming through from Fabrizio Romano, an international transfer.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Juan Mata looking to move to Vissel Kobe in the J League from I think he was at Galatasaray. He's continuing his next chapter in Japan with Vissel Kobe. He's accepted the J League offer ahead of other offers from the Middle East.
Do you know what? I've got a lot of people, lots of anybody who chooses to go to anywhere other than the Saudi League right now, particularly with the offer that is hovering over apparently ready to drop in the next hour or so allegedly, of close to 200 million for Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
West Ham across it. Oh, great defensive header.
Yeah, Bowen was steaming in there. The Vissel Kobe are signing Juan Mata after just this season losing Andres Iniesta, who's gone on to play in the UAE.
So he's gone to UAE, not to Saudi Arabia. That's different, at least, I guess.
39 years young.
Wolves have reached agreement in principle for Strasbourg midfielder Jean Rigna Bellegarde. But and I'm going to quote my source here, the BBC, have said apparently that one may not go through until 3 a.m. in the morning, but we'll see.
We won't be up for that one.
No, we will not
in other international transfers, we've had the here we go in the last 15 minutes from friend of the show Romano. Randall Kolo Muani from Eintracht Frankfurt to PSG, £75 million fixed fee and £15 million add-ons.
Kolo Muani to PSG. Ooh.
Yep, £90 million package.
Wow. Is he worth it? We'll wait and see, I guess.
And
we'll wait and see.
Looks like João Felix is joining João Cancelo in Barcelona. Oh. Unlucky for Chong there.
Goes in. Great save by Fabianski. Not Fabianski, he's Aficionado, isn't it? Sorry, my bad. Great save on his own crossbar. Luton fancy this.
Yeah, so they should.
Ironically, they've only had 28% possession so far, but they've had the better chances.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't feel like they've only had 28% possession. Look at that, Antonio back defending.
Well, doing what you used to do all the time. There is one here which does raise my eyebrows slightly. Alex Iwobi is set for a medical at Fulham. Apparently,
yeah.
Fulham somehow are not wearing the right glasses because apparently the deal is 22 million.
Well, let's not forget that Marco Silva spent 33 million to bring Iwobi to Goodison when he was in charge at Everton.
Oh, I'm just right. True, sir, but for 22 million for a player who is currently not the best, he's not Anthony Gordon, to put it that way.
Well, Silva obviously sees something in him. I dare say we've all done it in Football Manager. We get our favourites who may, we want to see do well and, bring them club to club.
Yes.
He's, if Silva thinks he can get the best out of him, more power to him. I don't think he's the answer for Fulham, but I've been wrong before.
You have, sir, but not often, to be fair. Usually pretty on the money, to be fair. So, yeah, Sheffield United getting James McAtee on loan was a good deal as well, I think.
Yeah, he's a known quantity to them. He stood out for them last season, so can't blame him for that. I think they would have preferred to get him in sooner.
Yeah, and part of the ever ongoing transfer deals coming in at Forest, Nuno Tavares from Arsenal has gone in to Forest for a season-long loan with an option of a £12 million signing fee at the end.
It looked like Forest were going to have a quiet window.
They did! It's dread they haven't.
They just can't help themselves. It's madness.
They can't help themselves at all. And I don't know how he's going to balance this team, but he's going to have to somehow.
Well, Brennan Johnson, financially, Brennan Johnson will offset a lot of that. If that does go through for 45 million. Another move that's come through is Clement Longley, previously of Spurs, going on loan to Villa from Barcelona. Another one to shore up the Villa defence.
Another good. And Villa have got a decent-ish defence for the most part. I think West Ham are building here.
Yeah, I think with Villa's defence, I think they may be looking at. I believe Tyrone Mings is injured, so they're looking for cover there, and they've now got Mings, Konsa. He never had him in. I don't think he took him out before the first game. But Mings, Konsa, Pau Torres. Now Longley coming in, and I'm forgetting Diego Carlos.
I'm sorry. That's not. You can't give handball for that.
I missed it. I was looking at the screen over this side.
West Ham will break you in the penalty area.
Oh, what a ball from Paquetá, by the way. Jared Bowen.
They gave handball on the halfway line, blasted from about 2 foot away. In the penalty area, that won't be given, but on halfway line, it was given. I'm like, well, what the hell? He can't get his arms out the way at that point.
It's again, we don't ask for everything to be 100% right from referees, but we ask just for consistency and common sense.
Ward-Prowse's corner, headed clear. Back at halfway almost. That's a really good header out.
It really is. Proper header.
And it's back with Aficionado already. That is great defending from Luton Town.
Yeah, pressing from the far there with Chong coming out, and I think Barkley was covering with him. They're covering the out ball to the left hand side.
This is the thing, the football community in general don't give enough praise to defenders.
No, they don't.
I mean, offside. He's saying offside, and Antonio's complaining a little bit here.
Seems to be keeping it respectful.
Mate. Get your hair cut, mate.
You sound like such an old man.
If you got that little hair in a ponytail, you don't need the ponytail.
That keeps it out of the house, doesn't it?
You look like Pete Dunne, but without the charisma.
You're really comparing Michael Antonio to Pete Dunne?
Well, I guess I am, yeah. I guess I am. That's a comparison that's never been done before.
That is bizarre because I'm pretty sure Michael Antonio is bigger than Pete Dunne.
Yeah. I know I'd rather face in the fire as well when it was not Pete Dunne. I think I'm Luton again.
Yeah, there's a lot to like from Luton in this first sort of 20 minutes or so.
Absolutely. It's that last ball, isn't it?
Yeah, just that final
up in the air. Picked it
I
out well.
love that. Sorry, just saying, I love that kind of clearance, but very well brought down.
Wins the corner. Great work by Adebayo. Absolutely stunning work. Great hold-up play, and then wins the throw. Yeah, absolutely, that's a corner. Great call by the assistant referee there.
Love seeing that kind of hold-up play as well.
I love seeing that.
I just always flash back to prime sort of Heskey and Owen, little and large, Heskey holding it up, T and Owen up.
Doty taking the corner from the near side. He's a left-footed right back, much like Steve Finnan back in the day.
Oh, there's a throwback.
Steve Finnan, he was just a 7 out of 10 player every week. Loved it. Get the
I
dog
liked
done.
Finnan.
I did. Ross
I liked
Barkley
to
missed
see-
his
I
chance
like-
there, and
oh.
West Ham breaking here.
He bottled it a bit there, did Barkley?
Ben Rama. No foul
He's quite-
given.
He's
Or foul
quite
now
been a
given.
very good signing.
Yeah, he cost quite a bit of money. I think about 30 million they paid for him, but
From Brentford, I believe, as well.
If not him, I'm thinking of it's someone else. I'm sure.
Who's that, sorry?
It's not Ben Rama. I'm thinking of towards 30 million. I don't think so. Anyway,
Was it Watkins?
could be.
When he went
Conor
to
Gallagher.
Villa?
It's been confirmed. Conor Gallagher will stay at Chelsea.
I'm not surprised.
I think I wouldn't have minded him at Liverpool. I think he's a decent player, but we've got so much quality coming through the youth system from midfield. That'll be fine. We need here and now players really, which we now have.
Yeah,
That
it
full
looks like,
midfield we signed.
it looks like Liverpool will be rotating Endo and Bajcetic in the in that sort of Fabinho role, if you like. So I'm excited to see how young Bajcetic comes on.
They could even play him in a double pivot, which we now know what it means. They could though, absolutely they could.
Yeah, potentially. I'm not going to.
He speaks fluent English as well, so.
Yeah.
But Bajcetic is Spanish.
Yeah, Romano just
launched.
reporting now that the deals for the two Joãos are done. Signed, sealed, delivered.
Nice work indeed. That's another corner. Emerson was edged out but again by Doty. Doty is really coming into this game here. He had a rough start. We put it past wide and no pressure, but as Giles comes forward with Anderson.
Is it too early to bring Kaminsky?
Yeah. I had a good palm away, out for corner on the other side now. Halfway through the first half of Luton Town with West Ham United here on the Volley. This is Matt Lewis and Dan Griffin bringing alternative commentary from the Barclays Premier League here on Friday Night Football on Transfer Deadline Day. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Oh, hello, the chat is working. What's one if we had a team probably had the other day. Evening says Total Stevo. What did you guys predict? I've gone 1-1 officially, but wanting me to win, I think it be 1 in. I'll be 1 in it. 1-0 or 2-1. I can see it being 1-1, but my stepdad would kill me for saying this, but 2-1 Luton. But I want 2-1 Luton, but I think it'll be if everyone's gonna win, it'll be West Ham.
Well, I was going to agree with you and say 2-1 Luton, but I can't have us agreeing on too much, so I'm going to say 3-1 West Ham. But I want you to be right.
It's a romance of the occasion, that's what it is. It's a romance of the occasion that's coming to it here, which is all good. Just a little glance here. There is Alvaro Fernandez is apparently going on loan to Granada from Man United. So not sure.
Don't know who that is.
He's a 20-year-old who played about 5 games last season for him. You think with Luke Shaw injured, and only with Goulion now coming in as the person to cover, they leave the cover in place, but apparently not.
No, well, they're experimenting with Dalot at left back, aren't they, as well now, Man United.
I guess. So, what are you drinking tonight, Mr. Griffin?
Well, it's a rare occasion tomorrow. I'm actually working this Saturday, so I'm keeping it light, and I've just got a few cans of San Miguel.
Nice.
Yeah. What about yourself?
I'm just having a strong bow tonight. I've got last me sins for the day, so I'm going to use them up. Having a can of cider and enjoying some football. Once that's gone, it's onto a bit of lemon. Chris,
that's a nice Friday night, though.
Chris bought me a new water bottle for when we're at Disney World as well, which it's hard to believe that we fly out in 9 days' time. It's hard to believe that 9 days time during the international break, which is good. But I don't know if I won't be back obviously for the return. So if you wish to do a game while I'm away, mate, you're welcome to.
I'll see how work's going and how brave I'm feeling, and if Connor's available, we'll work something out.
Well, Si, if you're listening, you did promise to fit in for me during my honeymoon. Just saying, it's only one game. It's only one game. But to be fair, if need be, we'll take a week off that week. It's all good. If we have to take a week off, we take a week off. It's all good. I'm putting pressure on side there. I'm sorry, boss man. Yes. So we haven't got any more transfer things coming at the moment. It's all gone a bit quiet at the moment, which is good. We can focus on the game. West Ham breaking. But Luton
again.
Free body Van der Bull there, plucked out of the air there by Kaminsky.
I tell you, Kaminsky looks a hell of a keeper. He's doing enough to keep Tim Krul out of the squad, and Krul's a vastly experienced keeper, especially at Premier League level. So he looked completely deserving of his place.
It'd be hard to argue against that, wouldn't it? I'm just trying to think if he's. I'm just going to have a quick glance to see if he's even on the bench. He is on the bench.
Krul is, yeah.
As Zuma clears downfield, nobody seems to be a massive fan of Kurt Zuma.
Because he kicks cats.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was trying not to bring that up, to be fair, but
old pussy punter.
There is someone great on Twitter who has said, just wondering if this is the season Wesley Sneijder finally joins Man United. Even at 39 and retired, he'd still improve that Man United squad. Someone said, just the takeaway to Mo Salah's house, bit frantic and suitcase at the front door. I'm like, you anonymous, yeah, you chicken. Just doing that one. Not
so
entirely.
Just looking ahead, if we do end up taking the week off on the, it'd be the Saturday the 16th, would it?
Yes, I am still in Florida that weekend. Yes.
Yeah, I might actually go to York City that weekend because they're welcoming Southend.
Well, maybe not, mate.
Well, I know York will probably lose, but I still want to get myself down to the LNER and games.
It might more be the case of Southend might be wound up by then.
Oh really? Are they in that much trouble?
They got £2.5 million. They've got a £2.5 million tax bill.
Oh shit! I didn't know about that.
Which they haven't paid, and they've all been told it wasn't for the fact that this is a football club, and there are fans and there are players involved, and you'd been wound up months ago.
Well, bloody hell.
Yeah, there is.
Ward-Prowse over the corner.
Yeah, somebody has. As Ward-Prowse takes the corner, I've just thought this is the best reply to the Mo Salah delivery comment. Why would Salah be getting a takeaway delivered to his house if he's just about to leave?
He's not though.
See, no, just leave the house sort of thing. Why would you? You would if you had to go out, you don't order takeaway, do you?
Yeah, fair point.
And sorry, in the chat, he's woken up. So yeah, a little stat on screen. Carlton Morris, the captain today, was in the Championship Team of the Year last year, and to be fair, not surprised the amount of goals he hammered in for him.
Yeah, very true. So just starting to be hemmed in a little bit of Luton.
Yeah, look,
no end
calming it down. No,
yeah, both teams
calming things down.
He is, yeah, but I was just thinking there, both teams really struggling to find that final ball and that bit of spark, that bit of creativity.
I guarantee you, every single game this season, Luton will sell out at home.
Oh yeah, easy.
Because if they do go down, and it's possible they could, It's more than likely than not.
Barkley on the edge of the box, out to Chong. Again, just the wrong touch at the wrong time. It's one of these teams is going to get there.
Faced with two Luton defenders. I keep wanting to say Blackpool because of the orange. Steve O in the chat is saying, coincidentally, you're on honeymoon in America. My closest friends are marrying Las Vegas at the same time. That's wonderful.
Congratulations to him. A friend of mine eloped to Las Vegas. He'd been with his partner for years, and they just said, "Oh, we're just going on holiday. We're going to America," as they have done quite a few times. Came back and only told immediate family that they'd got married. Then announced a wedding or an engagement do. And then at the engagement do revealed they were already married.
I'm not sure I could do that.
It was just like, whoa.
Family. I couldn't have done it to my family. My mum would have killed me. My mum would have killed me. It was... I'm a massive bias here. You can vouch for this, Dan. It was a great day. You were there.
Eventually.
We met in person. But you got there. And it was an amazing day. And it was probably the best night of my entire life. And certainly the best wedding I've ever been to, but I am biased.
Yeah.
I do want to go... I do want to go to Las Vegas. Back to what Steve was saying. I'm trying to convince Chris to take another trip back to America this year because the Grand Prix is happening in Las Vegas this year. But at the same time, ain't happening. I've just done a little bit of maths, by the way, which is not my strong point, I'm aware. Pochettino has said there'll be no more business done today.
Yeah, but what does Bowley say?
Just the 11 players they've signed for this summer for 400 million. Then
it's fucking ridiculous.
Yes, and that includes the player they signed today from City. Steve said that's pretty much what they're doing. Are they the same people?
I doubt it because my mates have already done it. But yeah, it's the pictures were something else as well from a Vegas wedding.
No one there.
Jared Bowen. I think I just heard my brother screaming frustration at his triple captain.
West Ham have had chances, but both ends hit the final ball.
I don't think it's even been chances. I think both teams have had chances to create chances.
It would have been offside had it gone in because Bowen was off when he received the ball.
Yeah.
When the ball was played. Luton, West Ham, oh my God, have had more successful passes against Luton tonight than any team they played against all season. And let's not forget that they beat Brighton and Chelsea 3-1. That's another poor pass.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if it's just the occasion. Maybe still a few nerves knocking around. More than half an hour in. It's. Oh yeah, Steve. I can see the comment there about the triple captain. My brother has triple captained Jared Bowen tonight.
In the fantasy Premier League thing that SJP World Media is doing, I'm towards the bottom. Dan's in mid-table last time I checked, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Although it might have changed a bit after last weekend. I have to quickly check.
Let's have a gander. More can defending from Luton there.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm 6th of 17, so I'm not doing too bad.
When am I sitting, bud?
You are...
No, not 17th, that's fine.
You're 8th.
Oh, Nunez got me some points last week.
You're only 10 points behind me. Bottom of the pile is Benny Mack on 79 points. And second bottom is our very own Konor McCabe on 88 points.
Well, he was bottom, so he's gone ahead of Benny now. Oh dear, says Steve-O.
Oh dear, indeed.
To be fair, Joe Bowen, he's the sort of player who can just pop something out of nothing sometimes. Like.
He is, yeah. And looking at Benny's team, I think he's very much had a set it and forget it, because he's got Lloris in goal, Van Dijk still in his team, Bueno from Wolves, and Ciso, who's injured or red carded. I can't tell which. And he's still playing Martial
this week. Halfway players aren't playing this week, so. He's Bowen. And someone's got to pull the trigger here. Come on, West Ham.
They really do. Come on. Oh, great last-ditch defending.
Some last-minute defending there by Chong.
Yeah.
Didn't work, you know. Thrown themselves literally away here. Luton, they could be proud of themselves. They tackled each other. I think, is it Acclaimed on AW who said to themselves?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
literally what we saw there. Some fallout there from All In.
Bit of scissoring, love it. But I like that though. You know, players willing to throw themselves in front of the ball and defend with everything they've got. It's a bit of blood and thunder defending.
Exactly, blood and thunder defending rather than tackling for a change today, and it's all good. Ward-Prowse have been kept quiet, isn't he? There he is now.
Yeah, he's just popping up here and there, but he's not getting the service, and when he does get the ball, he's not getting a chance to do anything meaningful with it.
But that's what Luton should be doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Got to cut off the avenues.
Oh,
nice ball
got in! And it's Jared Bowen.
It's Bowen.
It's Jared Bowen.
Oh, he's going to shit a brick when he finds out. I'm just texting him now. Because I think he'll still be in bed.
Why does Paqueta look like he's just swallowed a wasp?
Let's just check the off.
He's on.
He is. And as much, it's the curse of the commentator. As much as I've been praising Kaminsky, he spilled that one into his own net. It's hard that, it's short range, the header's rifled at him, but that was pretty much down his throat.
Indeed. So that is Luton Town 0, West Ham United 1.
But again, we're just saying there was maybe 10 minutes more than last season. Where Luton have held it together and done well, but they're just undone by one bit of misfortune, really.
Steve-O said, I think 1/2-0 West Ham. Steve-O said, my Sky captain, so he might bring the Sky Dream Team thingy. Connor's back in the chat, says, I'm back. My mum and aunt have been running to every grocery and wine store in the whole area. What wine did you get, Connor? I like a drop of wine, sir. I like a drop of wine. Yeah, we're gonna. Just as
go on, Adebayo.
Fire over. Could have done anything better than that.
Yeah, it was right.
It may sound like I'm being harsh, but I'm not meaning to.
That would have been an incredibly good goal if he'd have managed to score it.
Which is very true.
Just to put the chance into perspective, that was not easy. Sorry about this, just rearranging beverages.
It's okay. I'm still getting used to my new watch, so I keep buzzing. I'm thinking, why is it buzzing for? Mind you, I have got the most amazing thing on my screen.
Of course, it had to be Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, but he's using his hands over time, but he's tapping his foot the whole time. It's taking more battery out of it. So, so I might have to actually turn it off at some point. I'm not even wearing a watch anymore, you see, because I can't wear one at work, but I can wear this because I can wipe it down.
Yeah, that was a lovely ball out to Doughty it.
Hang on a second. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Dan. Is there a panel missing from Luton's from a Luton from in their attacking in the roof?
Couldn't see it. I'll have to have a look when the camera angle changes. That might be for cameras.
Gonna say, they spent 10 million refurbing the stadium, and they couldn't put a new bit of sheet metal on top. Something the roof, did they? Crossed it in, headed back over. Oh, just over the bar. That's better from Luton.
Yeah, do you know they could grab one before half time here? That'd be ideal.
Right to the line, and it's a looping header, Sheringham-esque, into the air, and it's dropping, but not fast enough. I think Ariel would have had it covered, but you're not sure.
So I actually had some stats screenshotted about this game. Let me just go back here. Yeah, if West Ham do...
Oh, and he got past him. Handball claims waved away.
Yeah, I think that hit his chest.
But that one hit the cameraman.
Just to say as well, if West Ham do win this game, it will be their 7th ever win at Kenilworth Road.
It'll also put them top of the league. Clear top of the league as well.
Yeah, but just to give you the quick rundown, this is the 33rd game between these two teams at Kenilworth Road or Luton's home ground. Luton have won 14. There have been 12 draws and 6 wins for West Ham.
What is David Moyes wearing? Is he wearing some kind of back support, or is it like a half gilet sort of thing?
I don't know.
It's odd. It's odd.
Rob Edwards is taking a risk with that colour hoodie with potentially mud flying around.
No, I think you're right there. It's a nice dry day in London.
Fair enough. I've just assumed it was pissing down everywhere because it has been up here.
Yeah, we had a bit of rain this morning, but it's dried off. I've mainly been playing Starfield today, to be fair. So
you've seen weather on many different planets.
Actually, I visited Earth, and it's just a dust bowl.
Well, yeah.
I landed in Yorkshire. Jen landed in Yorkshire, and
of course.
Because you can't focus an area for that. So I landed in Yorkshire, and I found out when I landed there, the whole planet is a dust ball. It's 20.
There was just two.
It's 2330, and apparently 100 years before that, the atmosphere just disappeared, and yeah, they had 50 years to go off the planet. So I'm like,
there was still two blokes just sat there drinking, and it was me and Rob.
Boy, just wide.
Oh.
Can I say, what a great name is Marvellous McCamber?
Oh, it's one of the best. One of the absolute best names ever in football. Like one of the things we used to do with old uni friends was to sit around and just name random footballers that we remember from the 90s. This Marvellous McCamber.
My apologies.
But Marvellous McCamber is one that I'll be bringing up in about 15 years' time.
See, when I first started playing FIFA back in the 90s, I would always sign players with really, really long names just so I could hear John Motson, who was a commentator on the game back then, just to hear him say the name. So I signed Stelios Yiannakopoulos before he
was a good player.
Yeah, I signed him before Bolton signed him. Rabasandratana, I signed him as well. I did find it very, very funny at times where he actually didn't say Henri, he said Henry. I was like,
I used to sign Muzzy, is it? Because it sounds dirty.
I met his brother once.
All right.
Yeah, I know it sounds like a bit of both, but it was Kemi, is it? Kemi, is it? Used to play for Colchester. Used to be captain for Colchester as well.
All right. I met.
Good lad.
Have I ever told you the story of how I met Johnny Evans and Chris Brunt?
Are you his agent?
No, most definitely not. I'd have got him a better contract at United. No, it was after we'd been to West Brom versus Liverpool away.
It's 45 minutes on. It's on the clock.
I think we're going to have 4 minutes. Oh, 2 minutes.
Nothing's happened, really, fair. Nothing's really happened to call it. They've all been behaving themselves. We will come down momentarily about Johnny Evans, but apparently, meanwhile, Milan are 1-0 up at half time, wearing a bloody lovely away kit. without Divock Origi as well. That's a miracle there. So you were saying about Johnny Evans, sir?
Yeah, so we'd been to West Brom, Liverpool. Liverpool had won that day, and as we were leaving, because we'd gone corporate because we fancy. Johnny Evans and Chris Brunt were walking up the stairs, and Johnny Evans slipped and nearly face planted the top step. And Chris Brunt was falling just behind him, and my old man said something along the lines of, "It's feet like that." It was something like, "If it's balanced like that, is the reason you lost."
Fuck.
Johnny Evans laughed it off, but in good humour. Chris Brunt looked like the angriest.
Well, yeah, I would. To be fair, that might have been at West Brom days. Chris Brunt, he got a hell of a left foot on him. Remember that much?
Yeah. Fabrizio Romano is reporting that Ryan Gravenberch has just signed the contract to become the new Liverpool player, and also Luis Sinisterra is currently undergoing his medical at Bournemouth.
Lovely. Schmeichel has left Nice, by the way.
That's not nice.
Literally. He so now he's a free agent and can sign with anyone beyond the transfer window tonight. That's a good free agent right there.
Very much so.
Surprised United didn't go for him.
Well, yeah, they still might. They need three. They need 3 keepers.
They might well do the free agent. Just Michael name returns, sort of thing. It would really stick one in the core of Man City fans as well.
Yeah,
but would he? Because Man City, would he think about it? Who knows? We are over the 2 minutes now, so any moment now we are going to get the half time.
Yeah, there we go.
Half time here. It's half time here, which means therefore, and brace yourself, head for listeners, it's time for the half time Fight Club.
And do you know what? I actually have one. You're on mute, Matt. Yeah.
You got one of you, mate? What you got?
I've got a pie, yeah. I'm just going to go get it now. I'll be back shortly.
You get your pie, mate. You could get your pie. I will quickly run... I'm going to quickly run through the some of the other things that have been going on. As Dan just said, of course, Ryan Gravenberch has agreed his contract details. But the financial thing all done with the club, so that was all done. So yeah, they'll be through, no problem at all. Conor Gallagher remaining at Chelsea after Tottenham didn't follow up. They had the chance to sign him, they decided not to. But we need to sell players to sign him first. As just mentioned, Schmeichel has left Nice and is available to transfer to somebody whenever he wants now. A lot of people wanting to see Salah leave, some not. Will Salah go? Let us know in the comments. Do you think Mo Salah should leave Liverpool, or should he stay where he is? Brennan Johnson, done deal for Tottenham Hotspur. He's going in. He's going to leave on a £45 million deal from Nottingham Forest. We've been hearing throughout first half about other players coming and going. Eric Dyer available on loan. He hasn't been signed up by anybody, which really surprises me. What else we got going on here? Sinisterra, as was being said by Dan there, almost done deal for Bournemouth. Maatsen on his way to Burnley, apparently to discuss personal terms They are in the last 2 hours and 10 minutes left of this transfer window. Neil Maupay on his way back to Brentford on loan, apparently. Alex Iwobi heading to Fulham for a medical for a £22 million deal. And of course, we have the game which is happening right in front of us now, which of course is West Ham United versus Luton Town. Welcome back, Mr. Griffin. Look at that perfect time he puts on the headphones. He hasn't missed anything at all. Welcome back, sir. Hello. That looks like a good old pie. That does.
This is the fabled lamb and mint pie from Knaresmire Butchers in York.
And the question is this going to be disappointing you now?
Oh no, I've had these many times. I know exactly what I'm in for.
Okay, well,
It's just a question.
Have you heated it up, mate, or was it a cold pie? That's chocker. That is chocker.
That is so bloody good.
Yeah, a bit more than that, please, Dan. We are a visual podcast. People can't. What flavours are you getting here? You getting mint, lamb, all good?
Oh yeah, there's the mint shines through. It's subtle but noticeable. The meat is, like you quite rightly say, absolutely chocker, and the pastry is just thick enough to hold everything together, but is thin enough that it's still quite light. So the meat is really the main event. Are you jealous, Si?
Sorry, using one word thing today. I had a beautiful steak pie last night. It was from Morrison, but it was good pie. I had pie and chips. It was lovely. That's absolutely slamming, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful.
If you ever find yourself up York way, I'll take it for a pie.
You know what? If that's not a an advertisement for the Yorkshire Tourism Board, I don't know what is. So I said, me and Shah just saying, why don't we buy pies? We always want one when watching. Well, you can. So I think more your shopping budget, really.
You got to participate in the halftime pie club, so I don't feel like a lonely fat bastard.
Yeah. To be fair, Dan, when I've got the time, I make me pies, as I have done in the past, and I've still got all that sitting in the all that stuff to make it with, so it's all good. But given this is our last watch along before for a couple of weeks now, probably, we're making the most of it tonight. So,
I've got gravy in my beard.
Oh God, that's a good. Is it gloopy gravy? Is it a good gravy?
Well, it's a little bit gloopy now because it's obviously this was prep made this morning, and it's Sharon having to one up Si.
Pie. That reminds me, of course. Don't forget to check out on the SJP World Media store on TeePublic. There are many new shirts for the volley in there, including 2 Pie Club shirts. Put your pie shirt on, and remember, of course, pie is a vegetable. Pie is a vegetable. I have scientifically proven this. Here's one from Wolves for you, Dan. The loan spell for Chiquinho at Stoke City has been ended by Wolves.
Yeah, they've recalled him, haven't they?
They recalled him and sent him on loan to Famalicão in Portugal.
Oh, fair enough. Apparently, looking at the formal announcement for Gravenberg is going to be in about an hour's time.
I wonder what shirt now he's going to have. I'm thinking
38.
38. Huh.
Apparently so.
Amazing when you got numbers like 14, 15, 16, 12 all available.
Yeah, sorry, I'm fighting with my pie because it's losing its structural integrity.
Okay, well, I'd say throw it down your hole, but I'm not going to ask you to ruin.
Can you see the chunk of that chunk of lamb there?
That's a big old bit of lamb. That better be cooked properly, Dan. I'll be having words with that butcher.
What?
I said, if that lamb and coop fall, I'd be having one of the butcher or the shepherd.
Oh, it always is.
Yeah, they're quite a big old chunk of lamb like that. I've always had a problem with people who put different sized pieces of lamb on a kebab, for example, or because a big bit won't cook the same with a little bit, obviously, but people don't seem to get that in their heads. I mean, like, well, yeah, it's area effect, isn't it? It's what happens. Oh, do I have to have Michael Richards dancing? Seriously.
Big Meek?
Seriously. I wake up most mornings and just look and see what Kate Abdo on CBS has said about Michael Richards this week on Champions League coverage. Because he always says, like, a Champions League winner with Barcelona in Thierry Henry, a Champions League winner with Liverpool, Jamie Carragher, and a man who had 5 appearances in the group stage of a Champions League, Michael Richards.
Yeah. I've been listening to The Rest is Football. I really like the chemistry that Shearer, Lineker, and Mickey Richards have. He's very sort of self-aware and self-deprecating, and I appreciate that out of him. Quite grounded, considering he's a former Premier League footballer.
Yeah, and also got to give Shearer some credit for his refreshing honesty after the game of the weekend, because he was screaming, saying it was definite red and all this stuff, but then he was very quick to say fair play, better team won on the day. I'm like, well, he could have been a bit of a dick about it, but he wasn't, to his credit.
He's still waffling on about how Trent should have been sent off as well, but we'll let him bitch with that.
Right, Dan, we need to hammer this home. There is 2 hours and 4 minutes left in the transfer window. Does Liverpool sell Salah for 200 million if it happens?
Not a fucking chance.
Should they, though?
Sorry. No.
200 million for a 31-year-old, that's a lot of money, dude.
Selling one of the best players in the world with no time to find a replacement.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree with you. I'm just saying that 200 million, that's going to turn ahead.
Of course it is. And so is apparently the reported £1.5 million a week wages. The problem is it's the timing. If they'd have done this 3 weeks, a month ago, we probably would have seen the last of Mo Salah in a Liverpool shirt. But the fact is that they need to keep him for another season, and then he'll have a year left on his contract. He'll have a year and a half left on his contract. We will get a bit less, but we're still probably going to command £100 to £150 million fee.
Probably, yeah.
So.
So Sharon's posted something here which looks like the first one to go through. Sharon, put it through again, love, and I'll pop it up for you, Hannah, right? It's about the merch in the store, no doubt. Oh, don't be disgusting.
What?
Come on. We've got 5 shows without being dirty-minded.
I just couldn't hear you, that's all.
Oh, is that it? Okay, fine. But yeah, one thing I do know is that everything in the SJP World Media store is 35% off. I know that for a fact, so this is your chance to get your merch, guys. Apparently, if you're a Portuguese player called Yao, looking for a loan spell, give Barcelona a call. They have just signed Yao Cancelo on loan and Yao Felix on loan. And
Nottingham Forest have just agreed a deal to sign Andrew Omobadamele from Norwich.
That's a mouthful for you.
Hey, I got through that well,
or loan?
Looks like permanent deal.
Nice work.
Can't say I've heard of him. Don't know what position he plays, but it's another player into Forest.
Another player in the Forest for sure. Yeah.
They can't see the forest for the trees.
I can't see fault for the players at the moment. There'll be more. Can it line up? Can it line up 14, 15, 6?
If he could, Chelsea would be in for a shout.
Amazingly, they've got more. They've got more. They've sold more players than they've loaned out this window as well, which is actually credit to, in a way. Oh, what the hell are you doing now, Mika Richards?
Big Meeks.
I cannot stand the man.
I love him.
He's just. Maybe because just how arrogant he is. I can't believe. Apparently, Eubank Jr. apparently is 11 stone 5. I'm about the same weight as my left leg.
I'll be watching that fight tomorrow night with any luck. Watch the first fight, Smith knocking out Eubank. It was a big upset. I'm a big boxing fan. I'm just happy that they've managed to do the build up for this fight without any of the bullshit leading up to the first one, because it was all well, I'll just call it out what it was. It was all pretty homophobic.
Well, yeah. Sharon says, Dan, I'll message you my comment being filtered. That's more Cody gifts then.
Oh God.
Some people are wanting to see Man United put together a last minute swap deal for McTominay for Palhinha. That'd be an interesting one. Yeah, people saying someone has said that Hudson-Odoi for 5 million is the signing of the day. For 5 million,
go that far.
I think certainly the deal of the day, in terms of the amount of money they signed him for compared to what they were asking for him last year. Anyway,
it's a very good signing, and I really do hope it works out. Sharon's message was, if anyone wants a half-time pie, mug or tumbler, to message her as she can beat the website postage and package pricing.
There we go. And the same that also applies for any of the SJP World Media merch. Message her directly. Sharon, could you because you're not allowed to put links and things in the messages. That's what fills them out, unfortunately. But if you message Sharon directly on Twitter, I believe that's at @SKorea, then we can get that all sorted out for you. We are approaching the second half now. They're coming out. Luton players don't look too dejected. They look a bit fired up, to be fair.
As they should. They had a lot of good work in that second half. They had some really good chances late on. Keep doing what they're doing. Build on it. Just keep the concentration, and they could still nick something from this game.
Indeed. I mean, my head's still saying West Ham, but my heart is still saying Luton aren't out of this yet.
My heart's going to say Luton in most of the fixtures this season, to be honest, because I want to see someone defy the odds. Everybody loves an underdog, and that's what Luton are. And if this is a type of game before the season where you'd be looking at and saying, they could maybe spring a surprise and take some points. West Ham have obviously started much stronger than I think anybody expected. But who knows? Anything can happen. And Sharon's just correcting you there. Her Twitter is @SharonCorrea13.
Absolutely fantastic. I will. Can I pin that? I can't pin that. I can't pin it because I haven't got control over YouTube side of things. But we're underway again here as West Ham kick us off from left to right. So yeah, there's a chance for everyone to just quickly note down Sharon's Twitter/X handle. Message her directly, and she will sort you out for cheaper. I wish I'd known that before I made my purchases. To be fair. So yeah,
no subs at half time for me this
Anderson, yeah. Bell, Doherty, Giles, Chong, Nakamba, Barkley, Adebayo, Morris, and then Ariola, Kufal, Zuma, Agard, Emerson, Alvarez, Ward-Prowse, Bowen, Lucas Paqueta, Ben Rama, and Antonio.
And the first offside of the second half.
I think it was the second one of the whole game as well. Actually, there wasn't an offside flag thrown the entire first half. Dan, now I think about it,
Oh,
I
right.
said offside because Bowen would have been offside if anyone had scored from it, but referee linesman didn't call it as off. So yeah, that's the first offside of the game, and we're second half. So that's why I'm saying it, Matt. Side told me the cost. To be fair, yeah, I'd have paid 35. I'd have paid 35. I'd almost double the amount I paid in shipping. Yeah, so instead of being $35, I had to pay 70 because of the mug I ordered. So yeah, Shah is on it, as Sai would say.
Just something that was brought to my attention earlier as well in European football. Have you heard of Heidenheim in Germany?
Isn't that a TV show set in a seaside resort?
It sounds like it, but this is actually a German football club, FC Heidenheim.
I thought it was Heidi High.
No, Heidenheim. They're currently playing Borussia Dortmund. They are 2-1 down, and they've had a goal disallowed. It's at Dortmund. Ex-Liverpool player Emre Can scored a penalty in his assist to goal. But they only...
He's half nowadays.
I thought he was playing central defensive midfield.
But he plays centre half a lot nowadays for him, to be fair. But anyway, continue, sir. Sorry.
So but what's happened is in 2007-2008 season, they gained their first promotion from the 5th tier of German football, and they're currently in the Bundesliga.
And they're in the game, Dortmund. They're in the game still. They should be level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and they've just been promoted to the Bundesliga this season. It's a hell of a story, and they've done it without the sort of financial backing of an RB Leipzig.
We've just seen the crowd, by the way, Albert Lokonga, who is about to sign on loan for Luton from Arsenal.
Yeah,
and Mikel Antonio there, an intentional handball. That's got to be a yellow card, but it's not been given.
Silly bastard. I mean, that's a classic thing of playing to the whistle. He got bundled over, but the referee hadn't blown him. I don't think he was going to.
He's lucky he didn't get booked there for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think it was the benefit of the doubt because he was falling over. But he has probably just grabbed the ball expecting the free kick.
I remember watching someone at some point stop the ball on the line, just enough so it was on the line. Someone thought it had gone off for a throw. They picked it up and they got a yellow card for handball.
I've seen that. It was glorious shithousery.
I believe it was in the top. I think it was a top flight team as well. I remember that. Jared Bowen, the crowding off the ball, though.
Sorry, just before that was Luton again, just misplacing a pass at the inopportune moment because there was a nice little break developing there.
That's what Luton seem missing. They seem to be missing someone who can unlock a defence. They need one person who can do that. Maybe Lokonga's the man to do it for them.
Yeah. Heidenheim have been given a penalty. Apparently, one of my friends has been keeping track of the game and sending live updates to the group chat. So it's under VAR review for the penalty there. Good defensive header there. That's Adebayo back defending.
There is some rumours going around, with less than 2 hours to go, of Newcastle signing a new goalkeeper.
Really? Newcastle? Manchester, who's the backup nowadays?
Goal! Out of nowhere!
What a finish. Was that Emerson?
I believe it was. Offside isn't given.
Oh,
the flag was up straight away. VAR goal review.
Let's have a look, see what we can see. So he's bombing in from the left here. Ooh.
Was Antonio offside when he received the ball? Yes.
He may just have been. Yeah.
Oh, like that. Reverse angle. Like that.
You very much do like that.
That's the first time we've seen that all season. More camera angles, please. Yep, disallowed. Goal disallowed. Correctly.
Absolutely correctly. Heidenheim have been given the penalty.
Where's the button? They have.
Hey. They have, yeah.
Okay, well, that's huge over there. The goalkeeper in question is Hugo Lloris, by the way.
Which goalkeeper?
For Newcastle.
Oh, God.
Oh!
No, I don't think there was anything wrong with that.
That's gonna hurt. But
Yeah, it's nothing malicious from either player.
No, I think it's more a case of referee blowing things up because it's gonna hurt a little bit. Alvarez here, and it's a stinger. Yeah, I saw the knee go back.
Shin to shin as well. It's not pretty.
Not pretty. It's gonna hurt a little, but they're both running it off, and it's gonna be a free. It's gonna be a drop ball effectively.
Heidenheim have equalised.
Wow, that may be the story right there. So yeah, it's been 3 hours now since any Premier League signing. So no signings have been made in Premier League since we've gone. Oh, and shot deflected behind for a corner. This is what Luton need. This is what Luton needed. Thing is, I can't see Newcastle signing Lloris because he's not going to go over to replace Pope, is he?
No,
so
and also travesty that Pope isn't in the England team, but in the England squad.
Yeah, let's not go there about that, shall we? The England squad's an absolute disgrace. Whipped in, cleared out. Luton trying to keep the pressure on. And it's back with Kaminsky, but they keep possession.
Yeah, that's a crucial thing. Talk about pressing, Jared Bowen just like a bloody rocket. Like to use an old turn of phrase, quicker than a stab rat.
Yeah, thanks for that, dude. You know how much I do not like those little bastards.
I had forgotten. I do apologise.
Yeah, so I'm now expecting loads of gifts of them in my inbox. If anyone does that, I will block you. Okay, that is an actual phobia.
Duly noted.
Okay. On West Ham here, an advantage. And here goes Ward-Prowse.
Nicely skipped
and off the line! Great defending in the end.
Yeah, I was just going to say, testament to the defensive organisation there and everybody knowing the roles at any given opportunity. That it wasn't luck that they made that clearance, whoever it was.
No, absolutely. And the thing is also, not chasing a lost cause. They knew they weren't going to catch Ward-Prowse. They rearranged in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely smart defending.
I mean, the keeper might have just got there.
Kaminsky did look to have it covered, but then we thought it had taken the goal.
Actually, we need to give credit to the defender there who actually got a foot on the ball, knocking it into the defender who was at the back there. Great defending.
Oh, there's a player you might remember from a brief stint in the Premier League. Do you remember James Chester?
I do remember James Chester. Hasn't he? He was Villa and Hull, wasn't he?
He played for Villa and for Hull. Played for Wales as well. He's just signed for League Two Barrow.
Ooh, bit of fall from grace, isn't it?
He's 34 now. He was injured. He was injured a lot last season.
I remember when he made his debut.
Yeah, we're getting on
for Newcastle, I believe. God Almighty. I said I also remember when James Milner making his debut as well. To be fair, at 16 years old.
There's that.
The thing is, James Milner is still younger than I am. That's kind of depressing in a way. So no, I had an interview for a magazine today, though. Actually, Dan. I did. Yeah, they were interviewing me about being the first NHS chef apprentice, which I've now passed, of course.
Nice.
yeah, so it was just nice to get a bit of recognition, sort of thing, and about a half-hour chat on a Microsoft Teams call. So that was another app I had to download. I've got 4 or 5 different messaging apps depending on what people want to use. I haven't quite got to Workday yet, thank goodness.
I've never even heard of that.
Workday, yeah. They sponsor F1. That's what F1's one is.
So you wouldn't mind downloading it then, just because it's F1 adjacent?
No, I would, because I've no need for another messaging app nowadays, and that's a West Ham misplaced pass. McCabe keeps the pressure on with a quick throw. McCabe in. Oh, it's a reaching ball.
Oh,
Lukongo with a chance.
Adebayo.
I've got a Lukongo in my head. Got to try and get my pronunciation right from earlier. And
Yeah, well, Lukonga, of course, was offered to Liverpool as well.
yeah, it is correctly given as a goal kick, but
Yeah.
that was he knows that was the moment. That was the moment for him.
But again, that was very difficult, to get past 2 players of Areola and Agaire's quality from that close range. You're going to have to go some and find something incredibly special. That was a bit of a silly challenge from Chong there.
I'm very jealous of his hair.
Reminds me of a young Carlos Valderrama.
Reminds me of Jonathan Creek.
Oh, what a series that was!
And it's on BritBox, Dan, by the way, the whole lot.
I know. I'll get round to rewatching it.
Oh my God!
What?
I need to check that stat. I've just seen on the screen.
Only 1 shot on target all game, and it was West Ham's goal.
Yeah, 10 shots to Luton, 7 to West Ham, only 1 on target, and that was the goal.
Well, thinking back on it, I believe it.
We haven't been bored though.
No.
It's not been like it's been a boring 1-0. Into the chat, we got a comment coming in. Mr. McCabe has saying I should be able to make a quick 5-minute cameo on the transfer show. Awesome stuff,
lovely.
sir. You've got the link in our little chat, mate. So you feel free to jump in, and probably he's been doing a lot of keeping an eye on all the transfers for us. So yeah, we haven't had anything happen in the Premier League in the last 3 hours. But there's lots of rumours and things going around, and Conor's quite good at shifting the wheat from the chaff.
On a transfer note, PSV have just re-signed Hirving Lozano on a 5-year deal.
Didn't he was crucial to Napoli winning the championship last year, wasn't he?
He was indeed, but he's gone back to PSV.
Is it a permanent deal? Is it?
Let me just see. I believe it. Yes, 5-year deal.
Wow. That's
There you go.
If he wants to go back there, because obviously he's obviously there for a while. Obviously, if he wants to go back there, I'm guessing his family were there. So if he wants to go back near his family, then you can't begrudge him that.
No, absolutely not. Apparently, Sofian Amrabat is signing his contract to Man United as we speak. Ooh. Oh, it was begging.
Look, they're turning the screw here. An hour played at Kenilworth Road. It is Luton Town 0. I keep on saying Liverpool. West Ham United 1 from the Premier League on deadline day. Matt and Dan on the volley, bringing you alternative commentary.
Ross Barkley over the corner.
Oh God, this is gonna be ducking. He's got his hair out.
Have you seen how they've got the 2 big front men, Morrison and Adebayo, right on the keeper?
Yeah, another corner, I think. Burke won the corner, so it wasn't a great corner, to be fair. So make it better this time, Mr. Barkley.
Never quite panned out for Barkley, did it? Since his move to Chelsea.
No, you can't bank on him.
Matthew.
I'm sorry.
That was brilliant.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm starting to lose interest.
Oh, God, there's no saving this.
This football needs to be more direct. Let's debit this. Right, that didn't really work.
You're vastly burning through your credit with these jokes.
Yeah. This Rob Barkley is actually making successive starts in the Premier League for the first time since July 2020.
I mean, he hasn't been in the Premier League for at least one of those seasons.
But he was with Chelsea for so long.
Yeah, but like I say, it never panned out for him. Let me just double check. He was in France, I believe.
Sai is saying, loving the audio format, by the way, lads. Brilliant stuff.
Thanks very much.
Indeed, the audio podcast came out a little late this week, but due to fair fit and pieces. But yeah, me and Dan had a good time doing it. And the 5-minute rule is something of a bit of a genius there, because otherwise we'd be talking.
We need it.
Yeah, but I like that. It's a concept which no one really sticks to. It's completely ripped off from pardon the interruption, but they actually go over for 5 minutes regardless. Whereas we cut off and move on. We had to a couple of times this week.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we're looking forward to having some people on as guests throughout the season, sort of thing. Connor would have been on, but he was ducking for cover with tropical storm overhead,
Yeah.
And another straight into the arms again of Kaminsky.
Yeah. Just to answer your question from before, Ross Barkley was at Nice last season. He played 27 games in Ligue 1, scoring 4 goals.
So 20 times 4 goals. That's a goal every 5 games. Not bad.
Yeah, not awful. Overall,
not bad
he
for
played
midfielder.
Yeah, it's all right. Played one cup game for them as well. So 28 appearances, 4 goals. Better than his loan spell at Villa in the 2020-21 season, where he played 24 games and scored 3 goals.
That's still better than he's done at Chelsea. So he's got a chance to actually rebuild his career at Luton. For sure.
Although actually, in that 2020-2021 season, he also played 3 games for Chelsea and scored 1 goal.
So he's played 3, scored 1. He had an injury hit year. Obviously, he had COVID as well in there.
Yeah.
I mean, we look at the crowd now. Can you imagine if Luton had been promoted during the COVID years?
Oh God, it'd have been sad, really.
Exactly that. It would have been so devastating. I mean, it was sad seeing Anfield empty. It was sad seeing Old Trafford empty, and you know, it wasn't unusual to see the Etihad empty. But
the empty had.
Yeah, as Luton here are pushing forward here still. Anyway, we'll do for West Ham.
I think I've told the story before.
Go on.
In that COVID hit season, me and my family, we had tickets for the Liverpool Palace game, and the original date was actually on my birthday. And as it panned out, that was the game where we won the league on the restart. So it would have been, I would have been seeing Liverpool win the league on my birthday for the first time in 30 years. And it never happened because of fucking COVID.
Very much not, buddy. But I appreciate the compliment. Very much not, but I appreciate the compliment. This is a little bit. I remember talk about Luton, of course. In the playoff final. Remember Venkati Dabo missed the spot kick.
Yes.
He was released.
Oh.
He was released, and he's just joined Forest Green. It's quite a drop.
One of Side's favourite clubs, obviously.
1 kick away from the Premier League, and now he's in League 2. That's quite a drop. It feels a bit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, these things happen.
They do. I'm just scanning the sort of BBC ticker here. This is certainly a take from Into as a Liverpool fan. I agree with the first bit. How are Forest making all these signings and yet Liverpool can hardly do any business when it's so clear that we need players? I kind of see it from principle, but also we don't just sign any old shit. We don't throw everything against the wall and see what sticks.
No, it is a case of quantity, not quality. Sometimes with what Forest have been doing, but we've got some substitutions happening here, Dan.
Yeah, we have. I believe that's Mpanzu coming on, who's been with Luton since the National League. Proper fairy tale story.
Absolutely. 9 years ago, they were in non-league. It's hard to believe it.
I remember it well when, like I say, when York City beat them in the playoffs to go back into League Two.
Sorry, not quite so happy with that. I'm not going to say that one out loud. Dan, if Dan wants to, he can.
Si says, and I quote, "Fuck Forest Green, bean munching, vegan, sister shagging, Stroud pricks." I'm not from Gloucestershire. I don't know what any of that means. I know what he's insinuating, and he's quite rightly reprimanded by his better half, Sharon, simply saying, "For fuck's sake, Simon." He got full named.
Oh dear.
He's in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, you know. Yeah, do you ever? I mean, I know I call you Daniel, all the time, but do you ever get full named, Dan?
Yeah, but you don't have the edge in your voice. That is very much reserved for my mother, and if I ever piss off one of my best friends, Mackenzie, she has the tone, the sort of the tone in the voice that makes me think I'm going to get beat.
Bowen, cleared.
Oh. Well, Steve-O was right so far. This is a very close game, and looking likely that it's only going to be one goal in it.
Could be right here. As Hills Kufau. West Ham still lead with 20 minutes to play here at Kenilworth Road. West Ham not being massively pressured, to be honest.
No, as we approach 3.5 hours without a significant... Well, good night.
What?
I don't know, your watch said something.
Yeah, it did. Not quite sure what it said, though.
I was just going to say, as we approach half...
Oh, I heard press it. Actually, had Mickey Mouse talk.
It's 9:27.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. I like that. I didn't know I could do that.
So I was just saying, as we approach 3.5 hours without a significant Premier League deal, we get an announcement from one of the standout players who was relegated from the Premier League last season, Armel Bella-Kotchap, Southampton centre-back. He is now going out on loan to PSV Eindhoven.
PSV making some moves tonight.
Yeah, to be honest, Bella-Kotchap is one that I would have looked at for Liverpool. I was impressed with him last season, and we do need a bit of defensive cover at centre-back. I know he's only young, but he's already been he's had a full season in a high-pressure environment and still managed to look good in a relegated team.
Yeah. The ball got out of play. I just know that the ball got out of play for about 5 minutes here, and they haven't been able to get the Luton subs on.
Yeah. That's an odd one, but it occasionally happens in football.
I know, but the ball not going out of play in the Premier League? What's happening here?
Well, maybe the new rules on time added on and time wasting are making them think twice, and we're seeing one of the first full examples of the...
and Bowen's in!
Oh.
Great defending. I'd like to see the replay on that because the arms went up like Tony. They are flagging. Was he? Yeah, miles off. And they will now have a chance to make the substitutions.
Just on transfer news.
Barkley.
Yeah.
And so is Giles.
Giles, yeah. It looks like a triple substitution.
Yes.
Is that Adebayo coming off?
Yeah, Barkley, Giles, and Adebayo coming off. And looks like West Ham making a change as well.
So here's a strange one. João Felix is joining Barcelona on loan, but he's also extended his contract with Atletico for 2 years until 2029.
2029?
Yeah, he cost Atletico Madrid 113 million in 2019. He's still only 23 years old.
Wow.
In more Fulham news, the proposed transfer of Tosin Adarabioyo to Monaco is off. They haven't been able to reach an agreement, so Tosin Adarabioyo is staying.
Okay,
so that's Adarabioyo and Palhinha in one day.
Yeah, but Palhinha can't seem to catch a break.
Well, I saw somebody saying, "Oh, what about Liverpool making a cheeky bid for Palhinha?"
Yeah, because of course the German and Italian windows are now closed, so no more deals they can do. France's closes at 10 o'clock, so they've got less than an hour. They've got half an hour left in theirs, and 90 minutes for La Liga and the Premier League, and Scotland have till midnight.
I just want to say as well, very nice keeping from Areola there from the corner. He was backtracking, but took the ball absolutely perfectly, just snuffing out any thought of danger from the Luton Town strikers. I'll field this one, Matt, if you want, because you never know what side's going to like talking about forest green.
Sai has really nailed his colours to the mast here. Anyone ever been to Forest Green? I have. It's in Nailsworth, Stroud. It's like being in an episode of A League of Gentlemen until a veggie-loving dude took over. Their ground was a patch of mud. And you can't get a pie there unless you want to eat grass or cress or leaves or some shit.
Oh, that's me out then, fucking.
Maybe a little bit on the harsh side.
Just on the German football front, Borussia Dortmund and FC Heidenheim has ended 2-2.
Wow, that's a great result.
On Dortmund as well, very nice to see Sebastian Haller starting for them again. I know he's been back for a while now, but always good to see a player come back from something like he did, beating cancer.
I just can't get my head around Felix extending his deal and then going out on loan. I don't get why you do that.
No. Oh, good. Oh, I thought it was a good cross there from Doty, but it's found Kabari at the back post.
I remember signing Kabore on my FIFA manager save recently. It was about 4 seasons ago where I am now. I'm currently in 31 and 32 seasons, so.
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to say then, Luton again, just. I like it when that happens, then you get all the random gens and stuff like that coming in.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know if it's something that's meant to happen or anything, but I've got my scouts set up to obviously check everything. Who's available, this, that, and the other. And at the start of every season, there's a load of free agents who are 90, 93, 94, 95. I mean, like, why have you released these kids? So as to have them all up for free.
Yeah,
sell them
why
on
not?
For like massive profit.
Also, that was FC Heidenheim's first Bundesliga point in their third game of the season against Dortmund.
That's the team that maybe should have been champions last year.
Yeah, and currently Union Berlin at top of the pile on, I think it's on goals scored because the goal difference is 6, same as Bayern Munich. At Union Berlin, who've just signed Leonardo Bonucci.
Which you were surprised is still playing.
I forgot. I got him confused with Chiellini. I forgot which one had retired.
I think Chiellini's still playing. Isn't he out in Saudi? And Luton attacking
maybe
in the corner.
Very good tackle.
Bowen back defending now.
And but just on England players abroad, Fikayo Tomori, on the day he gets called up for the day after he gets called up for the England squad, he got sent off from Milan tonight.
Ouch. And out for Doty as well on the near side.
And a player who's transferred out of the Premier League, Romelu Lukaku, came on at 70 minutes to make his Roma debut. Hasn't scored yet, but he has been booked. So there's that.
The Luton manager looking slightly concerned.
Just had a tweet from Romano that the official club statement from Liverpool is coming for Gravenberch.
Which we reported before he did.
Yeah, somehow. And Sai in the chat there, Forza Milan.
Forza Milano, technically, that should be just saying. So if you're going to do Italian properly, Forza Milano, and you got to do the hand like that, a bit like Samantha Irwin does for Giovanni Vinci. Have you ever seen her do that announcing on Monday night? That she goes Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. She does the whole accent thing. It's brilliant. It's wonderful. I adore that woman.
I like Samantha Irwin. Yeah,
she's a lucky woman to be Ricochet. I tell you. And so Doty is off, injured. That's not what I needed. Their first choice right back, who was left-footed, injured.
It was had a good game.
He had a good game, to be fair. 13 to play here at Kenilworth Road.
So just scanning the other leagues, the only other upset I've been able to see is that's Danny Ings.
It is Danny Ings. I think he's coming on for Ward-Prowse.
Interesting. Just the only other upset I've been able to find in the European leagues is in La Liga, where Cadiz beat Villarreal 3-1.
Right, I'm not entirely sure what it is. I've been keeping up on the British Broadcasting Corporation feed, and one of the messages that's been sent in to them, aside from Man City, seems like Man United have had a very good window with some transfers that could help them challenge for the league title.
See, the problem there is...
What are you smoking, young man?
The problem there is that text on a screen removes all sense of sarcasm, which that must be.
He's a Blackburn fan, apparently.
So he's used to a joke, then.
Maybe. I'm agreeing with Anonymous, though, who says 47.5 million for Brennan Johnson to Spurs. Forest signing Callum Hudson-Odoi for 5 million. Forest have traded up and banked 40 million out of that deal.
I wouldn't quite go that far, because one Hudson-Odoi and Brennan Johnson don't even play the same position. I like Hudson-Odoi. I think it's a good deal, but Brennan Johnson, 22 years old, proved he can score in the league already.
That's wrong.
Yeah, I don't think it's 9 for 9.
You can't have two number 9s. There we go. 9 plus 9 is 18. There you go.
So it's not Ward-Prowse coming off then?
It's not Ward-Prowse coming off, no. So we heard that one wrong.
Quiet day for Antonio.
It is. While I got a little on the action, I was watching the... I was keeping an eye on the draw for the EFL Cup on Wednesday night, and
yes.
I was having and that's gonna be a handball. Surely by Bowen. Sure, hit his arm.
I'm not sure. It must have been chest.
Big shout from a crowd. But in any case, we'll move on because it's too far a passage of play now to be relevant. And Stuart Broad was doing commentary.
Really?
Cricketer, yeah. He made his debut on a soccer special to do coverage of I believe it was Forest in the Cup.
Oh, it will, because he's a massive Forest fan, is Stuart Broad, and I think he'll make an excellent pundit and commentator, because he's a professional sportsman. It's going to be nice to have an outside perspective on football if he's doing it regularly, and he speaks very well in front of a camera. And he's just got a bit of personality about him as well. He likes a laugh and a joke, and I think if he's going to do that regularly, I'd be all for that.
And he's certainly better to look at than Charlie Nicholas, Paul Merson, anyone who people like that. He's easier
Broad falls
on
into
the eyes.
falls into the annoyingly handsome category of human being.
The ruggedly handsome, yes, he is indeed.
No, not annoyingly handsome, because he's never not been a good looking bloke, no matter how he's aged, no matter what he's done, no matter if he's had any stupid haircuts or anything like that. He's always.
Emerson in the 81st minute picks up the first yellow card of the game.
And his third of the season.
Man, not surprised for left back here, really. Kaminsky launched down field, 8.5 to play here.
Oh, excuse me.
Good. Oh, and a misplaced. Oh, just enough there to get the job done there. Free kick to Luton, though. Luton trying to keep the pressure on here.
I've just been reminded as well that I know it's another transfer to the Saudi League, but Gini Wijnaldum's gone to join Gerrard and Henderson at Al Ettifaq.
Isn't that 35-year-old Gini Wijnaldum, yeah?
31-year-old Gini Wijnaldum, or 32.
31? What?
Yeah, it's ridiculously young. We signed him at...
Good effect. That may be the youngest signing they've got.
To be honest, I would have had him back at Liverpool on a free, or the few million they paid for him, because I didn't think we should have sold him in the first place.
Bar!
Oh,
they're claiming a corner here. Referee saying no. Is it a corner, Dan?
I have no idea until I see a replay. Let's have a look. See, ball floated over.
Has he got a case here?
Okay, that's too far out to tell now. This second angle, it's too quick.
Yeah, it's hard to call. Another substitution being made. I think Chong's been hooked for Cali Woodrow. Cali Woodrow, that sounds like a politician from the 90s.
Collie Woodrow, why do I know that name? He may have been in the Premier League before. Let me just have a look.
While you look, sir, I'll quickly mention that Connor is saying Ward-Prowse and Bowen captain are paying off. Just need to get one goal or assist, and I'm top of the league until tomorrow morning with majority of games kick off. Well, Bowen's already scored for you, sir, so you'll be happy about that one.
Here we go. Luton Town. Collie Woodrow started his career at Luton Town in the 2010-11 season. He played three matches for them, and then signed for Premier League Fulham in the 2011-2012 season.
Another goal!
Oh,
and it's Kurt Zouma.
That is a towering header. Sorry, I wasn't looking. Was it Ward-Prowse with the corner?
I'm going to have another look, but I'm assuming it was.
Yes, I thought I'd seen Collie Woodrow before. He was in the Premier League with Fulham, as I say.
Yeah, it's Ward-Prowse's corner,
yeah,
and it is Zouma's header.
Oh, why didn't I bring him in?
So there you
go. You can't leave. Sorry, you can't leave Kurt Zouma in that much space. He's, for all we don't like him as a person for the for what he's done in his personal life, he's always going to score in that situation. He's a mountain of a man.
He really is. That's Luton Town 0, West Ham United 2. And that's game over.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Luton haven't had a shot on target in this game. Connor says, I'll take the James Ward-Prowse assist. Damn right you will. So it's a goal and an assist for you, sir. Sai is saying, I hate Zouma so much. I don't think anyone likes Zouma. I don't think even his own teammates like Zouma.
We finally have...
Go on.
Sorry, we finally have the first picture, the first official picture of Ryan Gravenberch in a... is that a penalty?
Oh, hello?
He's given a penalty. Has he?
No.
I thought he was pointing to the spot. That's a very good tackle.
It is a good tackle, yeah. And my God, did it have to be?
Yeah. Oh, that's
Hope
a
he made
it's
a
a shame it
good
was in
call there.
Panzer.
Oh, he's giving a goal kick.
Ooh, I don't know about
Anyone who hates cats, well, you're not going to find out to argue that one, mate.
that. No. But yeah, so first official picture from the Liverpool Twitter account of Brian Gravenberch in the Liverpool top. It's taken all day. There's been a lot of umming and ahhing and speculation with the Polinic deal falling through.
He'll be paraded at Anfield tomorrow, you imagine?
Certainly hope so.
And that's a good signing as well. I think it'd be a really good signing because he's young enough. They can mould the team around him for sure.
I like what they've done with the picture though. There's a picture from years back of Gravenberch as a young man in the Club World Cup winners Liverpool shirt.
Yeah,
and he's on a piece of exercise equipment, and his first shot is him in the current Liverpool kit or shirt. Sorry, sat on an exercise bike.
That's the social media team been working hard on that, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah, they have. And just European transfers.
We're seeing Tom Lockyer in the stand, by the way, who had an injury.
Alvaro Odriozola has joined Real Sociedad from Real Madrid.
I mean, he only started 3 games last year for Bayern.
Yeah.
Is 34 million a bit of a risk nowadays?
No, it's the going rate for a squad player.
34 million. He's a 5-year contract, 21 years old. He has immense potential, and he's now working under the best managers in the world.
Yeah, and you know, like I say, we spent 45 million on Oxlade-Chamberlain. Granted, he was a known Premier League quantity, but he was also a massive injury risk. And it's a real, and it's a massive shame because at his best, Oxlade-Chamberlain was fantastic. But we're in that sort of era now where, you know, this is the price you have to pay for players. It could wind up being an absolute bargain. You know, we paid 35 million for Salah.
Absolutely. And we could end up getting 200 million for him.
It's not gonna happen.
I said we could. Didn't say we would. We saying it could happen. Whether we wanted to or not, Dan. It's not like, oh, hello.
What?
That was very loud.
Sorry.
Crack.
It's a bit of an echoey room.
Last minute before added time. I don't imagine it'll be a great deal because there hasn't been any time wasting of note, really. Maybe 4 or 5 minutes added on.
Yeah, we've had sort of 6 or 7 subs.
But they've been relatively quick about it, haven't they? Which is refreshing.
Yeah, true. I think maybe I'll go 3 minutes.
I'll go 4. Just because we keep agreeing a lot recently. I have to provisionally ask you, well, who's your man of the match, sir?
Ooh. I think I'm going to have to go with James Ward-Prowse. Calm and assured in the middle of the park as always. Popped up with an assist. Just kept things ticking over nicely. I can't fault him today.
I am in full agreement with you, sir. The volley man of the match is James Ward-Prowse of West Ham United. A very good game. Very good game.
And a special mention for Doty as well for Luton. I think he's had a good game. And bar the one error, Kaminsky again, the scoreline doesn't do him justice.
It's amazing how different Liverpool midfield now looks.
Oh, yeah. I believe this is the debut for Mohamed Kudus as well for West Ham.
Yes. Yes, I've just signed a few days ago. Again, a lot of money spent on him, but he looks good.
Yeah, they've reinvested the Declan Rice money very well of West Ham, bringing in Edson Alvarez, James Ward-Prowse, now Mohamed Kudus, who after the
And
World
holding-
Cup a lot of sorry.
And holding on to Picasso as well, for that matter.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That could be the most crucial. You know, he's a very good player. Also, 5 minutes extra time. You were right, by the way. You were closest at least.
Hey.
Yeah,
Through long. And
ooh.
it's in!
Get in! Oh, love the centre back up top. Luton Town have their first Premier League goal. And it's Anderson.
Second.
Sorry, yes, they've scored against Bournemouth, didn't they?
Brighton.
Whatever, I'm tired.
Same South Coast, it's all good. Long ball, header back, and the big header off, back in the net. Beautiful header.
Beautiful stuff. Sometimes you just need a bit of old school, and there's nothing more old school than lumping the big man up top.
A bit of blood and thunder about it.
Just a wee bit.
3 minutes to play. Can Luton get an equaliser here?
Oh, I bloody hope so.
Done deal. Caseo to Barca is done.
Yeah, it was never in doubt, that one. So after the match, we're going to take 5-10 minutes, a little break, and then come back for the last hour, or
I thought about doing that. I thought about we might just stay in the same room. To be fair,
fair enough. I will need to go for a wee.
You do that, sir. I'm good. So I will amuse people with anecdotes and various bits and pieces. We've got just under 90 seconds on the clock. No, more than that, Matt.
No, 2 minutes.
Yeah, more than that. Just over 90 seconds. 2 minutes, in fact. The big man is still up top.
I'd love him Panzer to score.
Luton win a corner.
Oof.
Will Kaminsky go forward?
Oh, come on, Kaminsky, get up there. Imagine that. Imagine if he gets a goal.
Kaminsky does not go forward. West Ham hanging on here. Corner thrown in. The scream of handball from the fans. Kaminsky playing sweeper. 90 seconds down the clock. Ball was flicked on, but defended well, and any will do for West Ham. Kaminsky, VAR checked it, no penalty.
Shame.
Any will do for West Ham right now, of course.
Apart from in their own net.
West Ham are doing the best to clear here to try and get in the corner. They went from, I said it was done, now they're hanging on.
I never liked taking it to the corner. It just seems like such poor sportsmanship.
It does come off his arm. His arm.
And that's supposed to, and that's a natural position, is it? That Luton have been done there.
VAR didn't overturn it. VAR did not overturn it because it wasn't a clear and obvious error from a referee.
But I thought handballs were cut and dry, like offsides. No.
Referee has been capable of making a mistake. Goal kick. 95 minutes had been played. But obviously there wasn't a goal in there.
Yeah. I still think Luton have been hard done to there.
Luton launch it long.
Go on, score now, just to get revenge.
Ball goes in deep. Still in there. And Arias gets the ball and stays on the deck with it. Kurt Zuma, he's been given player of the match on the screen. We don't agree.
I just don't like him.
We don't agree. We're giving it to James Ward-Prowse.
Danny Ings bundled over there, but nothing doing, out for a throw.
And because of Arrow's antics, the ball goes on.
It does. Everything gets added on. I like it.
And that's it, full time.
Just that little lack of quality in the final third did for Luton today. It's a massive game. And I do, for my money, it was a penalty, but I might be, I may be letting the emotion of it, the underdog story cloud my judgment. But not a bad game of football, that really. Oh, Sai putting in the chat the Mohammed Al Fayed has passed away.
Oh, that's big. I wasn't even. I'll be honest. I thought he already had. But that is sad if that's the case. I haven't seen anything about that on.
It is, yeah. At the age of 94.
That's condolences to the family, of course.
We've got a member of the Griffin family walking through. Dad, penalty or not?
Yes.
Papa Griffin there giving his unbiased opinion.
In a natural position away from his body.
That's what I said. Yeah.
We need to have him on this show at some point. We need to have him on the show seriously. Papa Griffin time. Give him a headset and a microphone and a camera, and just watch him, just let the magic happen.
We have said before we need to just set a little camera up in the corner of the room and just have daddle box or griffle box watching the football.
Papa Griffin cam, yeah. Papa Griff, yes, as I said in the chat, absolutely, Papa Griff, absolutely. So Luton Town 1, West Ham United 2. Scoreline way closer than anyone given, to be fair. Luton, they dug deep. I feel sort of bad for them, but West Ham are top of the league.
They are, and
which is the best ever start to a Premier League season.
And Steve was right at the start of the day. He said, it's going to be one goal in it. It'd be 1-0 or 2-1. He was correct.
Yep. Luton are now bottom of the league, having played 3 games, but technically have a game in hand. So technically speaking, they could be as high as 13th, which, by the way, is where Newcastle are. By the way.
Yeah, not a great start for Newcastle so far, but they'll come good at some point.
And bearing in mind, they annihilated Villa on the first day of the season.
Yeah, they did.
But then they played Man City. Then they played Man City and Liverpool. So
we absolutely robbed them last week. It was great.
Now, Dan, be nice.
No.
I think
they played like arseholes.
I know full well you won't.
Yeah, apparently a friend of mine's watching, my friend of mine, Matt's watching Sky Sports News. The announcement came through for Gravenberch to say that it had been finalised. And it went like this. It went, Liverpool have signed Ryan Gravenberch. But what about Mo Salah? Nothing about Mo Salah. There's been no new bid yet.
No.
So stop harping on about it. They reported him leaving the training ground the other day in his very nice Aston Martin. And he was just driving away with a smile on his face.
Aston Martin, the beautiful navy blue. He did it again this afternoon. If anything happens between now and when we go off the air, we obviously will bring it to you here on the Volley. But at the same time, I don't see him leaving today.
No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen before January. Unless a ridiculous bid of, maybe 250 million might tempt FSG, but I can't see them losing their star asset without time to replace him. I hate how I put that, because these are human beings. They're not assets. They're not inanimate objects. They're not utensils.
Yeah.
I don't like going that far.
It's all good, buddy. It's all good, buddy. So it's time. Let's give our wrap up for Luton and West Ham. We mentioned Ward Prowse's great man of match performance. To be fair, goalkeeper had a busy one. Kaminsky.
I thought both goalkeepers played well, to be quite honest. Kaminsky and Areola, credit to the teams. Kaminsky, he just had that one wobble and that one spilled chance, and it unfortunately led to the first goal. But it happens to the best keepers, so I can't fault him for that. Doty and Giles looked good again down the wings for playing wing backs. Defensively, that centre back trio of Burke, Anderson, and Bell look decent. They really do. And again, it was just a lapse in concentration towards the end that left Kurt Zuma free. Otherwise, they've handled pretty much everything. Yeah, I'm impressed, and I think there's more to come from the forward pairing as well. I like Adebayo's hold-up play. Carlton Morris looks like he's got a hell of a lot of pace about him as well, and he led from the front today. So overall, I'm impressed with Luton. I really am. They just need a few things to click, and we'll see them get results hopefully sooner than later.
Well, one can hope for that side of things, Dan. Right, how about, sir, you go and use the facilities and then join us back here so we can round up what things are like. I will keep the ladies and gentlemen entertained while you are getting another beer, I'm guessing, as well.
I might just grab another couple to see me through the last hour.
That's more than fair. More than fair indeed. Cool. Right, see you momentarily. Right. So yeah, if you're still with us in the chat, then great. We're obviously going to bring you the final hour of the transfer window. The last few deals going over the line, as it were. We're looking to see what the last few deals are. There's been some talk about players going here, there, everywhere. We've got talk of Burnley signing. Where is he? Where's he here? Could be no here. Burnley signed Mike Trezor from Genk, apparently. He's meant to have a medical, apparently, but we've had no confirmation about that. We've got out into the last hour, so he's got to get that sorted. We need people to get their deal sheets in before 2300 hours UK time. If they do that, then the deal can be finalised, but they need to get the deal sheets in. That's the key thing there. In the chat, if you've got any rumours that you've heard, do feel to throw them in there. And we got speaking of which, the chat side in the chat is saying, Matt, what are your thoughts on the Champions League groups? Newcastle have it tough, and Manchester City pretty simple. Again, I'll be honest, Newcastle's group is so tough. I mean, who wants PSG, Dortmund, and AC Milan? Nobody wants that group. Least of all, a team who haven't been in the Champions League for 20 years. I'm extremely happy to see them suffering a little bit for the money they spent. Man City, it wouldn't matter who you put in their group, they're going to win the group anyway. Man City are the best team in Europe. And unfortunately, they now have the trophy to back it up. I think United's group is tricky-ish. Arsenal will be just glad to be back in the competition as well. I think there's another couple of tricky ones as well in there. I wouldn't want to rule Antwerp for that group, put it that way. I'm Newcastle. I mean, fair. The team's doing better and worse than they have been in the previous years. Some people out of sync in the pots this year, so I was very interested to see Newcastle drawn with 3 heavy hitters, because as proven tonight, obviously AC Milan, I believe they got the job done, even without Divock Origi. I'm getting a message come through here. So I'm getting a message from Fabrizio Romano. He said lying. So not for us, still chasing the Origi deal. and Hazard done deal for Nottingham Forest. Again, one of the best deals of the day is Fatty to Brighton from Barcelona, and with him going out, they were able to bring in Joao Felix and Joao Cancelo, which is a good day for them. We're looking forward for the following deal to be finalised. Leeds United's Sinistera to Bournemouth, still waiting for that one to come through. Rob Holding to Palace is set to be confirmed. Si, you saying Europa League group, not bad, too bad draw. That's such a good draw for Liverpool. We couldn't have asked for a better one from a Liverpool point of view. The jokes obviously about Liverpool are going to lose in France. The jokes obviously will be flying. I don't care about them ones so much. There are, it's not bad group. I mean, I still say Liverpool were going to win the Europa League this year. And Mr. Griffin joins us back just in time to give his thoughts to say on Liverpool's Europa League group.
Sorry about that. I wouldn't unmute for some reason. What were we saying?
Si has just asked us his thoughts on the Liverpool Europa League group, and I'll ask you as well to chip in on the thoughts on the Champions League group for Newcastle and Man City.
Newcastle, on the face of it, have a group of death, but St James's Park, under the lights, European nights back for the first time in 20 years. It's not going to be easy for visiting teams. They may sneak a win or two. It's not out of the question, but it's an uphill battle for Newcastle. But I think they're going to go in with a bit of freedom because they won't be expected to leave that group, and they can just enjoy it. Play the football they play, and you never know. Man City appear to have an easy ride. They always seem to have a tough time with Leipzig. But the fact I can't remember the other two teams in the group says a lot about that. I think City are expected to top that group and probably mount another march to the final, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I said no matter who they've got in their group, they're probably going to do it. And last one, finally, thoughts on Eden Hazard. Left Madrid a couple of months ago, still about a club. You'd think he'd go somewhere.
Does he want to be a footballer anymore? Are we going to see a retirement? Because he's early 30s now, he's had his injury trouble. But from a footballing point of view, it's kind of surprising none of the Saudi clubs have offered him anything, to be quite honest.
I'm intrigued to see how that works.
Kissy face from me to Chris as well.
Yes. I'm going to pass on. Chris, Dan says kissy face to you as well. Dan says kissy face to you as well. Kissy face back to you, apparently. Right, moving on from that. That'll be better. It'll look better. 52 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock in the transfer window here in England. As I was saying, Sinistera still looking to get the job done, moving to Bournemouth. Rob Holding moved to Palace for Arsenal, yet to be confirmed. Also looking to see about if Burnley can get the paperwork done for Ian Matson or not.
Yeah.
Also, haven't heard anything about Mike Trezor from Genk, which was from this morning, where I mentioned a few minutes ago. That was supposed to have been done this morning. It still hasn't been done. We've got some breaking news coming in on my TV screen, but I'm going to carry on here. What I've got. Forest have been linked with Ibrahima Sangare still. Still hasn't been confirmed one another. Expect to sign Divock Origi on loan from AC Milan. Arabat, done deal. Man United, of course. Gavin Birch, done deal. Wolves have reached an agreement in principle for Jean Rigna Bellegarde. Mopé is hoping to return to Brentford on loan, and Iwobi set for medical with Fulham.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning as well that the loan window stays open. I think, is it a week after the transfer window shuts?
Yes. At this point, I should probably say as well, that the League One transfer deadline has now passed. So only La Liga and the Premier League in the top leagues in Europe are still open. After 11 o'clock, the only league with money will still be the Saudi League, which opened for another 7 days. It was 2 weeks, but it has been brought forward.
Yeah.
Which is something, at least.
I've seen varying reports on that, but and it's quite right as well. I think at one point it was going to be open for a month longer.
Yeah,
that was the rumour.
While we're waiting for some deals to come in, Dan, I want to press you on this theory. Saudi Arabia allegedly want to spend some money, apparently, to buy themselves a spot in the Champions League.
No.
I say yes.
It's the UEFA Champions League. It's a European competition.
And that's exactly why I say yes, Dan.
Okay.
Because as soon as they fall under UEFA, they have to abide by FFP.
I see where you're going.
As soon as they have to do that, then FFP will apply to them.
No, yeah.
That would change everything. I'm saying, fine, if you want to enter a team, fine, but you got to play by our rules.
And that's why it probably never happened.
FIFA don't enforce FFP. It's the UEFA thing, obviously. So if they want to come and play in our league, in our Champions League, absolutely, more the merrier. Best players should absolutely play in the Champions League. We get that, but play by our rules, which means if you're spending money, then you're gonna have to make some money.
And judging from a few bits I've seen of the Saudi league, they won't be getting it from attendances.
No. You mentioned having watched it on the Zone, and also I believe Konor McCabe, our roving reporter, who's hopefully making an appearance during this show for a few moments. He's watched it and he was less than impressed. Some of the football's fine. To be fair, there's some good players out there, but I mean, Messi is actually doing really, really well in Miami.
He is doing fantastically. Already won a trophy out there. But the MLS is more competitive than the Saudi league at present.
Speaking of which, eventually there will be a competition where all the world leagues take part, and not the World Club Cup right now. Money talks at the end of the day. Indeed. We'll have to wait and see on that side of things, though, one way or another.
Although I have to say, just for a quick look, I've had a look at the latest round of fixtures from the Saudi Pro League. Fixtures from today, in fact. Al Ittihad, who were the ones bidding for Mohamed Salah, played Al Hilal, who've invested heavily as well. It was a 4-3 away win for Al Hilal. Al Ittihad lined up with Kante and Fabinho holding midfield and Karim Benzema up top. Those are the notable names. And Al Hilal lined up with Koulibaly in the team, Ruben Neves, Milinkovic, Savic, and Malcolm and Alexander Mitrovic up top. 4-3 thriller. Mitrovic with a hat trick.
Wow, Mitrovic actually scored a goal.
You say that like he didn't. You say that like he didn't score a fair few last season in the Premier League.
Yeah, I don't
but I can see. Sorry, just to go back to Si's point, I can see where he's coming from with a global competition. It's obviously going to be a lot harder to organise. It could. Saudi involvement could give rise to a Super League style competition, potentially, or something like that. We might see a handful of Saudi teams and a handful of European teams go off and play.
I can see the World Club Cup maybe being a bit more expanded out, that sort of thing. But I think like the Champions League, like that should stay as they are, sort of thing.
Well, the Champions, I don't know the details, but the Champions League itself is going through a reformat by the next season or the season after. Do you know anything about that? About how it's going to play out?
Apparently, they were going to put everyone into one league.
So it's going to be a Champions League.
Yeah. And then the top 8, and then the top 8 qualify automatically for the last 16, and then everyone else goes into playoffs. Basically, you're playing the league format to get yourself ranked for the knockouts, which is fine. But you're not playing everyone; you're only playing 6 teams still.
Okay.
But I think there might be 6 one-off games. So you won't be, say for example, you might play Roma, Inter Milan, Roma, Ajax, Bayern Munich, Rangers, Liverpool, Rosenborg, for example.
That's actually quite interesting.
I mean, it could. I mean, if that's the case, and it's 6 different teams you're playing, that might actually have a bit of thing to it. Because you're like, oh, we'll take the draw out there, but we'll get the win at home, sort of thing. You can't think like that if you're playing 6 different teams.
Yeah, as long as you get 3 home games, 3 away games.
I think that's still the idea: 3 home, 3 away games. But I mean, a 3 home games, if they are tough away games, you know, that's gonna be tricky. I look forward to it, of course.
If you had your 3 home games against sort of the lower ranked teams, and your 3 away games are Real Madrid, Man City, Bayern Munich, then there's ways to do it though. I agree. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was just saying, Dion Dublin made a very interesting comment, which is something that made me smile slightly. He's on one of the radio channels, and he said that the signings that Jurgen Klopp made were crucial, efficient, and what he needed to do, and acted well about it. He got good players who are all very different. They're all playing in their own shirt number as well.
I assume he means in terms of the sort of the new trend of calling the positions by the number on the pitch. So it's like when you refer to the 6 role or the 8 role, and
yeah, but the weird thing about it is that our number 6 is always injured, and Tekkers got our number 3 in there. So yeah, we've got less than 45 minutes left in this transfer window.
Here's a transfer that's just caught my eye on the right of the screen. Andy Carroll has gone to France on a free transfer. He's left Reading and gone to Amiens.
Yes, he's gone from League 1 to Ligue 2.
League 2.
League 2. Strange one, but if it works for him, sort of thing.
Coming through from Romano, Brennan Johnson has just signed his Tottenham contract.
Excellent. That's a good.
Oh, do you know what? I don't know why I do it to myself. Every so often, I venture into the hive of scum and villainy that is the replies to a Fabrizio Romano tweet, and I don't know why I do it, because it just pisses me off. Because it's the same burner accounts and bot accounts saying the same bullshit every time, as if they think he's going to listen to him.
That's clever work by Tottenham. Japhet Tanganga on loan with an obligation to buy.
Yeah, Tanganga's one that he burst onto the scene, I believe, under Mourinho, and he looked like he had all the tools. He's just never been able to nail it down with Spurs.
A little sad on that side of things. I'm just wanting to quickly make a few little. I need to quickly change something here because it is the deadline day. Deadline day, up comes yellow.
If I'd have thought ahead, I'd have bought a yellow tie to pop on.
It feels appropriate, to be fair. So yeah, I'm looking. I mean, if Liverpool, let's go down the teams quite quickly, and let's judge roughly how people have done so far. Arsenal, they went early, went quick, and they've got some business done. Unfortunately, their centre half they signed is out for the season.
Timber. He was going to be playing at right back, wasn't he? ACL tear, which is
in the first game.
Yeah, which is horrible for him. Declan Rice, a vast amount of money, but I think we're already seeing how Arteta wants to play him, and I think he's going to be a fixture for the whole season. He's going to play well. He's not a big fish in a small pond, as it were. He's not £100 million Charlie Adam. Havertz. No. It's too early to tell, but before this season started, I had an inkling that Arteta was pulling a blinder and he was going to pull something miraculous with Kai Havertz. We haven't seen it
Still
yet.
Might have done.
Yeah,
True.
That's what I'm saying.
3 games.
Yeah, and then this was actually something you quite rightly called me out on when I mentioned it on. I can't remember if it was on a live broadcast or on the pre-recorded.
Anyway, but I put you in your place.
You gave constructive criticism. And I took it on board.
I love it in writing because I don't think Gray, when he watches this back, would agree with you, sir. But
yeah, we'll see how Havertz plays out.
What was it? Yeah. So there's time for that to go still. Villa, I said a good business. Then they got slaughtered in the first game of the season, but have bounced back really, really well, to be fair.
Yeah, Diaby looks fantastic buy. He's already paying his money back. Pau Torres is looking good. There's been 1 or 2 moments where he's just maybe lacked a little bit of physicality and a little bit of strength, but that'll come in time. He'll adapt, no doubt. Longley, we mentioned earlier, is another fantastic signing. I'm sure there's a couple more that I'm forgetting. Also, another bit of business to watch out for is Tielemans. Yes, we haven't seen much of Tielemans yet, which says a lot about the quality in Villa's midfield. But one to watch out for potentially tonight or maybe in days to come if it turns into a loan deal. Coutinho has been holding out to go to a Qatari side. By all accounts.
Arabian side?
No, it's not.
It's different, at least.
I mean, it kind of feels where Coutinho's head's at in terms of his career. He's ready to just take the money and go to a retirement league.
It hasn't worked for Midfield, has it?
It worked in fits and starts. I was really hoping
when he wants to play, he plays.
Yeah.
Okay, this is interesting. Breaking news, sort of, Dan, is the Spanish President Rubiales has admitted he made mistakes at the final.
By committing an assault.
I made some obvious mistakes, which I sincerely, from the heart, regret. Maybe a bit late for that now. Maybe a bit late.
Yeah, it very does smack of a damage control statement. I've learned that no matter how great the Joy sports leaders... Oh, dear me. Have you seen that? I've learned that no matter how great the Joy sports leaders should be held to exemplary behaviour.
And then he's subject to numerous manipulations, lies and censorship. I trust justice will be served.
Oh, fuck off, you mealy-mouthed son of a bitch.
Okay, so with this hand, you've offered an olive branch, and then you've set it on fire.
That is such classic...
Wow.
Oh, God.
Wow.
What a shit show.
Yeah.
All you had to do was say, yep, sorry, shouldn't have done it.
He could have done it at the time. Done that and then we've moved on. We've been talking about the women's football more, but no, we're talking about a man assaulting a woman.
We're still talking about that dickhead when Spain played a fantastic final.
Yeah, so we'll move on. I'm just thinking Liam Smith was 11 stone 6. And Eubank was 11 stone 15.
11 stone 5 and 15 ounces.
Yeah, that's right. That's ridiculous. Right, so.
Fabrizio Romano. Romano reporting that Trevor Chalobah is staying at Chelsea. another one who had a potential move to Bayern Munich fall through.
Well, we didn't think he was going to be going, did we?
No, but there was a loan deal apparently being explored, and it's all just fallen away.
Mm.
On the ticker tape on the Sky Sports News there. Nice on a Yorkshire note. Nice to see Harry Brook hit 67 for England in the 2020 tonight in a winning effort against New Zealand.
You're a Yorkshire lad, of course. There are emerging reports saying that Everton are in advanced talks to sign Maxwell Cornet.
I've seen those, and I've also seen an equal amount saying that that's not happening.
But it has now gone through. We are getting word now that is definitely not happening.
Which is a shame because
our friend Chris Harris literally was quoting "busting a nut" over Maxwell Cornet while he was at Burnley, and was not surprised when he moved on. One report today said that he was as far as having a medical with the Toffees. That would have been going some, considering he was on the bench tonight in the game we just watched. So that would have been impressive.
Yeah, it would have been. But it's a transfer that would have made a lot of sense because he's not managed to nail down a place at West Ham. So why wouldn't he go and work for the manager who got the best out of him again?
Cy Powell saying, I miss Jim Smith and Natalie Sawyer on deadline day. Well, mainly Natalie Sawyer. Do you want me to just bring in a cardboard cutout of Jenna Coleman for you, Si, at this point? Just leave it on screen.
So I'm just going to mute while not.
I think you were also meaning Jim White. So I think you were meaning as well, not Jim Smith. Jim Smith. And apparently Getafe are apparently trying to strike a loan deal with Manchester United for disgraced attacking player Mason Greenwood.
Sorry, who was that?
Getafe.
Ooh, Getafe.
Both clubs are looking to loan him. United have resolved that he needs to rebuild his career away from Old Trafford. Then, release him. That simple. Release him.
To be honest, I think there has to be legal issues surrounding that. Why they can't? There's got to be some employment law or something that states they can't outright release him. I mean, there would be the opportunity to buy him out of his contract, but knowing the Glazers,
They're not losing any money on him because they came from the academy, so they're not losing any money on him.
But they're also not making any money on him. And that's from a purely business perspective. And knowing from my Man United supporting friends, and when they point out how much money the Glazers have taken out of Manchester United, again, I think it's up around the 700 million mark. They'd be looking to make a penny on him. It's soulless and heartless.
32
capitalism.
minutes and 3 seconds to go.
Also, just saying there, Johnny Evans.
Last time I did a deadline day window closing, I fell asleep before the show started.
I remember that. We were all waiting for you. We were worried.
I was literally sitting right here, put my head back for a few moments. Next thing I knew, it was 11:45.
Sign in the chat there. Sign in the chat there asking if Harry Redknapp signed Nico Cramshaw yet. First off, what a reference. Second off, yes, I think he has.
Possibly. I mean, this goes back to something that Dan was saying earlier about players continuously being bought by managers over time, sort of thing. We are rapidly approaching that time, Dan. At this point, I'm gonna do some little bit of trickery. So hold on to yourself, Dan. I'm just gonna move you up a little bit.
One thing I wish as well with deadline day, there should always be Peter Odom-Wingy just sat in a car somewhere waiting to be interviewed.
Absolutely. So I'm hoping this works properly. Because I'm just waiting for that time to tick over, and then I can click start the timer for the last 30 minutes. I've been waiting to do this since I created this time about a month ago.
So I don't know if this is. I don't know if Matt's watching. I doubt he is. But there's been some. Apparently, there's some significant news coming up in a couple of minutes, and he's jokingly said, "Oh, Salah's nipped out to the Spa to get a loaf of Hovis. He's bought soft white instead of wholemeal."
Oh, God. It's time. The clock is running.
Hey, look at that. We've got a countdown. I
actually made it work properly. The ticket's going how it should be. I'm so happy with myself. What should be an anticlimax when it gets to the time?
Well, I'm used to delivering anticlimactic finishes.
But yeah, so we are now in end game, as it were, as we race towards the third hour of our show. But well, actually, race towards the fourth hour of our show, technically speaking. But because we will be bringing you, if there are any last minute deals, we'll bring you to you right here. And we have some breaking news coming in. Done deal. Nottingham Forest have signed Odyssey. Oh, bloody hell, I was about to hand and countdown. Vlacho Diamas from Benfica. Apparently he's Greek. Funny that.
Who was that, sorry?
Odysseys. Vlachimodius. From Benfica for an undisclosed fee has signed a 4-year deal.
Odysseus Vlachodimos.
Becomes their fourth signing of deadline day, and confirmed that United have signed Amrabat on loan from Fiorentina. 8.6 million fee for the loan, plus a 21.4 million pound deal if they want to buy him at the end. They do need someone like that.
Yeah, sorry, I've just seen as well that Chelsea have loaned out a player they only bought 2 days ago. So the Chelsea loan farm's at it again. They've signed Diego Moreira for I think about 20 million, and he's been loaned straight out to Lyon.
That right there is a work permit. That's a work permit rule right there. That's a work permit issue right there.
Yeah, I like that from side. I interviewed anyway. Old Peter just sat waiting for his chat about the evening supervisor role at Lidl or the morning shift at KFC. Now I misread that and thought that Si was insinuating that Peter owed him when he stopped in KFC for a shit every morning.
Do you know what? No, he I do believe that the Saudis have not put another bid in yet. And it had now been confirmed that Luton have signed Albert Sabila Conga from Arsenal on loan. It is a confirmed deal, and that, given what a big night it was for Luton Town, that's also nice to follow up on. We've got Si saying, agreeing, around about if he stays fit is a good signing for United. Yes, they've got no one like him at the moment. That's what they need. That's what they want for sure.
Very much a blood and thunder midfielder.
That's what they need. A bit of someone to just. And he's got young. He's got, he's gutsy. Is that Phil Foden we saw there?
I don't know. No, it was somebody around at Forest. I just had a quick look at Peter Odom-Wingy's career, just out of interest. So he left West Brom. He left West Brom in 2013, so 10 years ago. Yeah. He had a season at Cardiff, 2 seasons at Stoke, which included a loan to Bristol City. Shout out to Bang Bang Andy. He then played at Rotherham United for a season and finished his career at Madura United in Java.
Well, that'll do it. Sorry, I'm not putting that one up.
Oh dear.
I'm not putting that one up. That's just gross.
sides
Oh,
and
bro.
singing.
It was Nuno Tavares arriving, I believe. Nuno Tavares, who was on a season-long loan from Arsenal, with a £12 million option to buy. I think that's a good deal. That's a really good deal, I think.
He's not a bad player, Nuno Tavares, and he's just fallen out of favour under Arteta.
I say we're starting to cook with gas a little bit now. We've got some deals coming left, right, and centre. As I mentioned while you're away, Dan, anyone getting their deal sheets in with the FA before 2300 hours can get the deal done. But you've got to get your deal sheets in. There is talk about apparently the Salah deal is not dead yet. Apparently they're still going to come back with more.
So the latest news on BBC Sport is that there's no news because nothing's actually changed there. That is literally less news than Salah going out for a loaf of bread.
Absolutely, yeah, that's other things. I mean, I would be quite happy at this point just from to go for like 500 million and we'll take the loss, that sort of thing.
Well, funnily enough, I was actually talking about that just in my brief break with Papa Griff through there. We're sort of looking at this from two very different viewpoints. I'm very much in the keep Salah camp, keep him till January or next summer, because it makes no sense now to sell him because we can't replace. My dad is very much get rid because he believes that we would do a West Ham, do a Spurs, and actually everyone else would step up to the front, and he thinks we'd be a better team without Salah. That's mainly based on
coming in from Bournemouth.
Is this Sinistera?
Daka deal is off.
Difficult to get down there.
That's a shame. No, the deal is off because someone wouldn't move on.
Right. So someone wouldn't move out of Bournemouth to bring Daka in.
They try to get a player out to Millwall when he wouldn't go.
I mean, fair.
So they couldn't bring him in.
Apologies to...
It's like moving house, isn't it? It's like moving house. You're waiting in a queue for someone else to sell before you can move in.
Apologies to our friend Chris, but why would anybody want to trade Bournemouth for Millwall?
I do love Millwall, Chris. I mean, he had some great comments on Cook or Back Up this week, which we recorded yesterday because of tonight, obviously.
Yeah.
We actually did get a shot this week because of one reason or another. It's actually 90 minutes this week. Really, it's just me and Graham. It's gonna be out tomorrow as well. It's gonna be out on Saturday this week as well.
It's amazing, isn't it? Though, how much that third voice in the mix can extend a show. It's actually something you mentioned before about the 5-minute format for the Volley wrap-up show. It's going to be very interesting when we get the chance, you, myself, and Connor, to all record, because I don't think we're going to be able to stick to the 5-minute limit. So what I was going to propose is, and we can discuss this off air. I'm not meaning to put you on the spot, but I would suggest that I think two of us, a combination of the three of us, two of us will have to discuss each game and sort of rotate it as it goes.
So I just said in the chat, my sources tell me that Mo Salah has just been spotted outside Stroud, shirtless, screaming "I love vegan pies" while kissing his sister, who's wearing a Forest Green training kit.
I mean, that sounds more like Neymar.
Make of that what your lads. I will just yes. I'd like to point out at this moment, Si. Channel owner or not, I will ban you. I'm joking, of course. So yeah, we're literally 21 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. So close now. We can almost taste it. I can feel my bed. We are that close to the end of the transfer window now.
Yeah. The sad thing is,
stuff done today, though. Because everyone's been busy today. So everyone dealing somewhere.
And it doesn't have. It's weird deadline day, because I remember back in the days of like the Berbatov to United transfer, where it was getting done so late, and we're getting shots of the player from outside Old Trafford, and there was always a real buzz and a real excitement. And everything feels like it's been done, yes, on the final day, but it's been mostly sort of wrapped up with only the formalities and not a right lot coming through in the last few hours. In terms of major deals.
Sorry to give the right amount of humour, thankfully.
He always does.
I've got to say, I'm most concerned for Chelsea in this window. After this window, they've done all the business and everything, but the only fit striker now is Nico Jackson.
Yes, it's crucial to keep him fit. Otherwise,
what if he gets sent off next game?
he's got a fiery temper. He likes a tackle.
He has. Yeah, we like a fan tackle on this show. Of course we do.
We do.
But at the same time, they can't risk. They're in a bad situation here. They've got no strikers to fill in for him if he gets sent off or injured. So he's got to keep his nose clean. And Cuckoo, I will be back soon rather than later. But the fact matter is that
I thought it was months that he was going to be out.
Well, yeah, but if he'll be back sooner or later, he'll be back. But I remember when we had Sturridge as our was he our only striker, and then we brought Suarez in.
No, I think Sturridge actually came in after Suarez, because Suarez came in when we sold Torres.
I'm just thinking
in that same January window.
Who came in the transfer window to provide backup? I'm trying to remember. It was all those years ago now.
So it was Suarez and Carroll came in when Torres went out.
You and Sturridge or Suarez was leading the line on their own, pretty much. And then someone.
I think Sturridge came in to back up Suarez.
Yes, Sturridge came for backup. Yeah, in the January, and that was a great signing.
Do you remember?
Sorry, the foot on his own. If he got injured, gone.
Yeah. Sorry, just a quick one. Do you remember Eric Garcia, who joined Barcelona from, I believe it was Manchester City?
Yeah, Man City. Yeah, 19 years old. He left Man City.
He has just been loaned to Girona.
Wow, that was on his mind when he left for Barcelona.
Yeah, very much so. Sai in the chat there, it baffles me how things go as late as they do. We're talking huge amounts of money and massive businesses. No other business model would work this way. It's insanity. And then the follow-up comment, but I love it. Yeah, a good deadline day is so dramatic, and I find myself glued to BBC Sport or glued to Sky Sports News if I've got a day off or anything like that. But football as a whole a lot of it is so baffling a business model. What other industry can businesses operate with the debt levels that they do? And we're seeing the chickens come home to roost somewhat for Barcelona now. But how does that work? And football managers, the contracts they arrange, and then if they fail, Jose Mourinho, how many times has he been sacked 2-3 years into a contract and received a massive payout?
Many times. I mean, you rent. Mourinho's never bought a house. He's rented for 2 years.
Yeah. It's incredible. Just some, and when you actually get into the nitty gritty of how the finances work in a football transfer, and you start looking at player amortization and the fact that clubs will pay for a player across 3, 4, 5 years, but the selling club has the money available right away to spend. There's just so much of it which doesn't make sense. Is that something on Ibrahim Sangara and Sky Sports News there?
Not sure. I'll let you catch that one up. I do believe we actually have someone joining us. I'm going to add him to the stream and hopefully it'll get a dance.
Yeah.
It is Mr. Konor McCabe.
Hey, Connor.
How are you, Connor?
Doing good. Can
You're
you guys hear me?
a little
Okay?
quiet, buddy, but we can hear you, but you're a little quiet. So just want to let you know that. I'm just going to quickly just knock the logo off just for now.
How's that?
So we can see Connor better. There we go. That's better, mate. That's all good. Okay, so yeah, we are in the countdown period as we. So get your buttons pressed, right? Come on, Matt. There we go.
Come on, Matt, push your buttons right, man.
No, don't do that. I press it.
Just to read,
Keeps putting it away.
just to
Okay.
quickly read Ty's comments there because he's praising Liverpool. He loved the simplicity of Liverpool signings around then. Stuart Downing statistically put in more crosses than any other player in Europe in the previous 2 years. And Andy Carroll reminds him of Mike Bassett. Get it wide and chuck it into the box. England will play 4-4-2. It was Kenny Dalglish as well who signed Suarez and Carroll for Liverpool.
Yes. Yes, that was interesting, let's say.
Breaking from Romano regarding Chelsea and a few players. Conor Gallagher stays at Chelsea, same for Matson, Cucurella and Chalobah.
I thought Burnley was working on I think it was a £35 million deal to get Matson back to Burnley.
Yeah, I heard that too. Apparently the player hasn't been able to reach personal terms and it's not going to happen this window. So how about that? That's amazing nowadays as well. The fact that the offer went in first and then they started agreeing personal terms. So many transfers nowadays appear to be what would be called tapping up in in years gone by, where we hear of an offer's gone in but they've already agreed personal terms. Like, well, how is that fucking fair?
So I just saw.
Indeed.
Sorry, did I cut anybody off?
No, Matt cut you off, Connor. You go ahead.
I just saw that Liverpool agreed to terms with, is it Gravenberch from Bayern?
Gravenberch, yes.
Yeah.
Done deal.
Okay, I saw that too.
We're very pleased about that side of things for sure. Shade being thrown at Connor here by the boss. Why is Connor stood up? Is he going to do a deadline day dance for us?
No.
I wouldn't ask you that. Connor, do you have a new camera coming through? Very clear, lad. He's in a new location, of course. Connor, do you want to explain where you are?
I am right on the coast, North Carolina. And for camera reasons, I'm on my phone because I don't have access to a laptop now. So
Well, you will do once you're into your house, into your new house, obviously. But obviously Connor was ducking for cover earlier this week when the hurricane was heading through. Clearly, he's fine. So, but it's great to have you back on the show, Connor, even if just for a little while today, because we are now just 13 minutes away from deadline day closing here in the UK. It's all gone very exciting today, really, hasn't it? Any shocks for you, the youth thing, Connor?
I wouldn't say a couple of shocks for me. João Felix on loan to Barcelona from Atletico Madrid. Don't really know where he's going to play in Xavi's system because he likes to play, I think, a 4-3-3 with Lewandowski up top. Would like to see Felix and Lewandowski play off of each other. But the run that really surprised me was Ansu Fati to Brighton on a season-long loan deal.
That's a great deal there. Such a good deal.
And I don't think it had a buy option in it, but I saw somewhere, I think last year, he renewed his contract with Barcelona. And it's like a $1 billion release clause.
This is the thing. It's got one of those. That's ridiculous. That release clause. No one's gonna pay that fucking money. But the most bizarre thing is that Felix extended his career with Atletico till 2029, and then went on loan to Barcelona. I'm like, well, clearly they're not gonna sell him. Clearly, Sai is saying North Carolina, and then just a one-word reply saying, "Woo!" So I didn't see that Felix one. That's a bit mad. We've been talking about it all evening, Si. What have you been listening to apart from us?
Pay attention, boss man.
11 minutes and some change to go. Go, Connor. Connor, you just jump in. We'll shut when you start talking, right?
Well, I didn't know if you guys were talking. I was just going to say Brighton's going to be a really fun team to watch this season.
Very much so. Yeah.
They already have been. This just makes them more dangerous.
Fati, Marsh, and Matoma. That's a dangerous team right there.
Sorry, I cannot believe that we live in an era where Ansu Fati, Barcelona prodigy, one of the next big things in football, is going to be vying for a place with Solly March. And no disrespect to Solly March, he's been fantastic since Brighton have got to the Premier League, and he has worked bloody hard and produces some excellent football. But until Brighton got promoted, he was an afterthought. He is such a great success story.
If I'm going to quote Gordon Ramsay here. Am I being punked?
Yeah,
because I genuinely think I might be with that one. I mean, Brighton have been a selling club for the last few seasons, and they've still done so well. They're in Europe, and they're rightly in contention for the top positions in the table. But this is a sign of intent. Because
yeah, absolutely. They're into Europe.
They're only signing Fatty full time, and that's fine. You know, that's not a problem at all. We know they won't, but we do hope that that this is going to be the snowball that starts rolling it. I've just seen it tick over into single figures.
It reminds me as well. It reminds me of the era when Bolton came up, and they were signing the likes of Yuri Djorkaeff and JJ Okocha and Ivan Campo. You know, these mammoth players who weren't around for very long. Stelios Giannakopoulos. They weren't around for very long, but they made the mark on the league and made the mark on the club, and were just so much fun to watch.
Made Jaskalainen a legend, didn't it?
Yes, it did, yeah. Oh, Jussi Jaskalainen, what a keeper he was.
Done deal. Ketchup from Southampton has signed on a season-long loan to
bottle of ketchup.
That is quite a saucy signing they've made there, and I'm so sorry. I'm getting tired.
I don't know if you guys touched on this transfer yet, but of course, being across the pond, I pay attention to what teams are interested in young MLS up-and-comers. One that I wanted to point out, and then I think is a very good move, but I'm kind of sad to see because I really liked watching him. Georgi Petrovic. Chelsea signed him for around, I think it was $5 million.
Yes, I saw this one.
Very, very good keeper. He quickly became one of my favorite players to watch the year and a half he was here, except for the games that we played against him, because then I hated him because he was just too good.
Yeah, but that's the sort of game I actually quite like, because that is when they actually start. That's when they make an impression. If they go have a good game against you, they're sort of things which can make them then bring their stock up. I mean, I remember, every goalkeeper a couple of years ago was having an absolute blinder against Liverpool. I remember that one. It was absolute nightmare at times. So yeah, I can
back in 2 ticks, lads.
That's right, buddy. You're good, mate. So yeah, Connor. Who else should? I mean, granted, the transfer window is closing in the next 7 minutes or so. Who should they have been trying to sign from the MLS and haven't?
I know Barcelona signed a 20-year-old center back from Los Angeles Football Club. I cannot think of his name right now.
It's okay. It's okay.
His name is skipping my mind.
While you're trying to think of that, Si has a question for you, sir. In fact, Si is asking, did you see any of Pulisic for Milan today? He looked sharp. Forza Milan, Forza Rossoneri. I
am going to be completely honest with you. I have not gotten a chance to sit down and watch any games this weekend. So far, I told myself I got to watch at least one AC Milan game this year. But from what I'm seeing,
from the sound of things, this is one that maybe we should start with.
from what I'm seeing, based off highlights and social media clips and whatnot, Pulisic looks very, very happy at Milan. He's just glad to be playing and starting regularly instead of whatever was going on at Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea's signings have been. I mean, they spent 400 million in this window. Again, it's an extortionate amount of money. 400 million for 11 players. They spent.
Haven't they spent over 1 billion this year alone since January?
Yes, but they've also sold a lot of players, which
Sure.
which to be fair, does help their financial fair play. So when people say, "Oh, they spent all this money," yeah, but then to be fair to them, they've made the money back. So I've less problem with that. If they're selling, and then they can buy, that's called business. I'm fine with that. Do I think overpriced them? Absolutely. Are some people take advantage of the Saudis at times? Absolutely as well. We are 5 minutes and 20 seconds now. I do believe somehow I am about half a minute behind the actual time, but their clocks seem to go much faster than mine for some bizarre reason.
I would like to throw out a name of a player that plays for Columbus, ironically. A young player who's been up and coming and really made his stamp last season and in this season. I would look out for the name Aiden Morris from the Columbus Crew. He plays anywhere between the central midfield and the defensive mid role. I believe he's 21 years old, and he's a homegrown prodigy. I would kind of look. I wouldn't say look in the winter window, but I say once the summer window opens up next year, I would look for his name, because definitely I think within the next year he's going to have some European interest.
Make sure you check out Connor's Twitter feed for that sort of stuff. Connor would obviously be he's big on messaging about all the crew fans out there. He's in that sort of that area of Twitter, and that's a good place to be because I ain't got a clue about that side of things. So thankfully, Connor's got that side of the pond sorted for us.
Just quickly, latest from Romano, just a minute or two ago, confirming that at 11 o'clock, Brennan Johnson will be unveiled as a new Tottenham player. So that looks like it's got over the line.
Yes.
Kind of surprising.
I'm also seeing right here as well. Someone has messaged into BBC saying, for me, the best value for money signing of this window has Szoboszlai for Liverpool. 60 million may sound like a lot, but just wait and see what impact he'll make on the league. Already, he's made me and Dan absolute. Well, we've been toasting him for the last few weeks already.
And we love Big Boss.
We do like Big Boss. We get into the last 3 minutes.
Romano as well, just confirming that Rob Holding has signed for Crystal Palace on a 3-year deal from Arsenal. £4 million fee confirmed.
Is it a permanent deal? Or was it a loan deal?
Yeah, permanent deal. Permanent deal, yes. That feels like $4 million too much, personally.
Yeah. I think that's a good move for Rob Holding. I think he'll get some playing time there. But the U.S. men's national team fan in me says, oh, dear God, because Crystal Palace bringing in another center back pretty much says, okay, we don't have any plans for Chris Richards. You know what I mean? So personally,
Holding can play right back as well, to be fair. So
okay,
but he'll be behind Tyreek Mitchell at right back there, and I think Nathaniel Klein is still on Palace's books.
What?
And if he's not on the books, then he's certainly on the doctor's table.
There's two Crystal Palace players that I really like, Anderson, and I think it's their captain. Last name starts with a G.
Guehi.
Thank you.
The other centre back, yeah. Anderson and Guehi are a fantastic centre back partnership. I've watched quite a bit of Palace already this season, and I am very impressed with what Roy Hodgson's doing. And to be honest, the Hodgson factor is something that I think will help Rob Holding, because if there's somebody who can get a player performing to his potential in let's be honest, a fairly unfashionable team, it's Roy Hodgson.
Yeah. Nottingham Forest have just put a video out on X saying thank you for everything, Brennan. That just hammers home that it's all confirmed and gone through. We come into the last 70 seconds of the transfer window. If you haven't got your deals in place, gentlemen and ladies around the United Kingdom, get them in now, because you have got 55 seconds to get them in to the FA.
Unless you're watching Sky Sports News and then it's 5 seconds.
I saw
Don't watch Sky Sports News. Watch this. It's fine.
I saw the Arsenal women. I can't think of her name. Apparently, the Arsenal women's team placed like 2 separate bids for one of the top women's goalkeepers in the world. Apparently, can't think of her name. It's not
Mary
coming.
Earps?
Yeah,
I think that was it.
Mary
I
Earps,
think
yeah,
that's
she's
her.
on a new contract, I believe. Yes. So
Who does she
we've-
play for?
I believe a done deal. Getafe have signed Mason Greenwood from Manchester United.
Scumbags.
With 10 seconds to go here, Saudi Arabia came to play and certainly changed the game of the transfer window. But with 3 seconds to go, the summer transfer window is closed.
Oh, yeah, that reverberation went on for a while. To answer your question, Conor, Mary Earps plays for Manchester United. Fuck's sake.
Turn that volume down. There you go. I'll go one better, Dan. I shall. I'll go one better, man. Hang on a sec. I will remove it. Because now it's over.
You
There
sure?
we go.
See all
Okay,
the-
and then click the button, and we're back to how we should be. I think so.
Yeah, Saz just said in the chat,
back to how
Mary
we
Earps.
should be. There we go.
Mary Earps plays for Man United.
Yeah, Connor's even took himself off camera and muted himself. It wasn't that bad, was it, Connor?
So the
Yeah,
Liverpool
transfer
have just
window is closed.
Liverpool have just released a video of Ryan Gravenberch being greeted at Anfield. I'm assuming it's Anfield, or it might be Melwood. Andy Robertson, Cody Gakpo and Van Dijk are there to meet him. They're showing him around, and he shakes hands with Andy Robertson, who says, "Finally, a good Dutch player." Cheeky bastard.
Sorry about that. I was caught off guard by my mom.
No problem. We've had Papa Griff giving his 2 cents at various points in the night. So,
And now Cam Griff's giving his comments now. Evening is back.
well, yeah, he's just picked up my car.
So saying I'm loving how much Matt is loving this. I'm loving this. I love this job. I love the job. I don't get paid a freaking cent. I don't care. I'm loving this job. Right, so with the transfer window now closed, deals will still be done, because as long as you get your paperwork in before a few moments ago, it will go through. Okay, so if the deal papers are with the FA, you can still make your signings. So we wake up in the morning, we're still going through, no doubt. So yeah, to confirm, Greenwood done deal on a season-long loan to Getafe. Surprised that happened. Brennan Johnson finally confirmed. He'd been with Forest since he was 8 years old. He'd been there for 14. He'd been there for 14 years.
Oh. But this is a big move for him, and I honestly believe that replacing Richarlison with Brennan Johnson will be massive for Spurs this season. They've already looked brilliant, and that's with an absolute passenger playing centre forward. A liability playing centre forward. Someone who can match the pace around him, but is also a decent finisher. if he
Where
stays
did-
fit. Sorry, Connor. I was just waxing lyrical about Brennan Johnson again.
Where did Richarlison go? I didn't see anything.
Oh, no, he
about
hasn't gone
him.
anywhere. I was just saying that Richarlison is shit, and replacing him with Brennan Johnson. So Richarlison's now going to be a £60 million backup.
Ooh.
And Johnson is a massive upgrade.
Yeah, absolutely. No. Dan is saying Cam's saying he had 5 love on in the motor. Greenwood, the Getafe holding the pace. Absolutely. Well, you really that's not 5 live.
But you couldn't listen to us in the car.
I've seen videos like that. You could have done absolutely. You can run YouTube through the car as long as you can do it in your car. Dan, I don't know how old. Was it a Ford Fiesta, Ford Orion?
It's a Mercedes A-Class.
Ah, then you definitely can. Then yes.
That's 4 years old.
4 years old, then you can absolutely do it. You can run it through. You can Bluetooth it. It's fine. Yeah. So, is there any transfer dealings that? I mean, I'm looking right now at Nottingham Forest's ground, and they're flashing their lights in some kind of display for some bizarre reason. Is it because they've just signed half the league? I'm not quite sure. So Simon said most interesting in the Greenwood deal is that it's a loan. End of a deal. We're back where we are now, I think.
And this goes to what I was saying. This goes to what I was saying with the Glazers being like they are wanting to cash in on Mason Greenwood. If he goes to Getafe, scores a shitload of goals, they'll either try and bring him back into the fold again, or they'll look to make a few quid on him.
I'm just surprised Saudi
go on,
didn't go
Connor.
after him. I'm just surprised Saudi didn't go after him.
When Saudi Arabia don't want to touch Mason Greenwood, you know something's gone wrong. Something's wrong with him.
Yeah, that too.
The thing is, if nothing else, because of what, the sort of sports washing effort and trying to change the public image, Saudi Arabia will be exactly. Saudi Arabia will be conscious of that. For everything you can level at them, they are not dumb.
Nonto not going anywhere as a surprise, considering he stopped training with Leeds. Yes, he went on strike at Leeds United, didn't he? Yes.
But he's been back in the starting lineup and since scored for them, because there was both him and Sinistera, who's moved to Bournemouth, has fallen through, and Leeds also rejected.
Has it fallen through? Because it's not gone
yes.
through yet.
Sorry, I thought I saw that it had. But there's been a few approaches for Nonto, Sinistera, Somerville. Let me see if I can find it.
A lot of people are saying the best bit of business was West Ham selling Declan Rice to Arsenal because they got money in the bank for him, and they've got a better team now with Ward-Prowse and Alvarez.
They got Kudus too.
Yeah, he came on tonight, and we were saying earlier during the commentary that they do look a much more balanced team. Sorry, Matt, just saying that 2 hours ago, Sinistera was undergoing the medical ahead of a loan move, so the loan move can go through obviously any time. I think it's another week.
And to be confirmed, Burnley have completed Mike Trezor from Genk on loan. That's again good signing. Good reinforcement for the back. This is interesting now because we've had so many good signings being made. Like, oh, that's a good signing. That's a good signing. Are they going to gel? It's a good question. I've got to say, some people have said. I mean, we mentioned how much we like the Subway. Somebody called Chris. I doubt it's my Chris. Has said best value transfer for the summer window is Sandro Tonali. Absolute class by the looks of his lad. Ran the show on Sunday and against Villa. Yeah, but still lost on Sunday. Worst value for money signings looks to be Zoboszlai. Poor so far, struggling with Premier League, and for 60 million,
fuck off.
Poor bit of business. I know, right?
Fuck off. What game are you watching? Whoever wrote that knows jack shit about football. Or is being sarcastic.
Absolutely. Let's bring Connor in then. Let's bring Connor in, who's an unbiased fan of football. Connor, Dominic Szoboszlai, who has signed for Liverpool, good player, worth 60 million, or waste of money?
So I watched him when he was at RB Leipzig, I believe. Right?
Yep.
Was it Leipzig?
Yep.
And I've watched him a little bit with the Hungarian national team. And from what I saw, Liverpool is getting one hell of an attacking mid. They just need to let him adjust to the physicality of the Premier League. Once he does that, he's going to be a world-class player.
That's coming from someone who is unbiased on the opinion there. So thank you, Connor. We appreciate that. See, professionalism on the volley. Only took us forward.
I was going to say, for the first time tonight.
First time in 4 weeks we won it. Yeah. Okay. Into the chat, Cam Griffin is saying, free signing West Ham made in place of Rice. Is a great bit of business. I must admit, I read that wrong. Thought it was a plate of rice. So I'm getting tired, clearly. Sai in the chat is saying, Glazer with Greenwood back in the fold. If you look at United from a purely football standpoint, it would be ideal for a good player. Martial is made of Weetabix. It makes sense. From a purely football point of view, I do understand it. But then so I continue to say, this is bigger than football. Another example of how dirty and scummy the Glazers are.
Yeah.
Cam is saying Iwobi had medical at Fulham as well, wasn't he? Had that fallen through? No. Hasn't fallen through. We haven't had World League being completed yet either. We may not hear about it till the morning, to be fair, because let's face it, it's getting on a bit now, and even we all want to get a better popping Connor. So
and who really gives a shit about Iwobi to Fulham?
Well, I think everyone would like him off the books. I'll be honest.
Just one from Romano very quickly. More players into Forest. Ibrahim Sangare and Divock Origi to Forest, both expected to be completed in time.
So the payment will be in. They've got to finalise all the deals and medicals and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So yeah, this has been one hell of a day. Nottingham Forest, I do believe, have signed 4 players full time and 4 players on loan today.
What is their owner on?
He shipped out as well. To be fair,
he has, but my God, it's a revolving door.
And Cam is saying what we went for as well. Origi is back in the Prem, the mad lad.
Oh, the legend. I love him. I hope he scores against Everton again.
Did you guys touch on the Dean Henderson to Crystal Palace deal?
We touched on it on the podcast we did earlier in the week. We haven't touched on it today.
Okay.
No, so Connor, why don't you talk about the Dean Henderson to Palace goal?
I just saw it today, honestly. Dean Henderson, before he was injured, I thought he played great on loan at Nottingham Forest last season. Will he start at Crystal Palace? I don't know.
He's in a direct shootout with Sam Johnston at this point, who's just been called up to the England squad. So,
good for him.
And that's where Henderson wants to be. But with that, when there's no room for Nick Pope in Gareth Southgate's England squad, you have to wonder if it's almost a close shot. So it'll be, Sorry, Connor.
I like Nick Pope. Why doesn't he get more chances with England? I don't get it.
Nick Pope he's got ability, he's got size, he's even got the looks, for God's sake. I mean, he's a handsome man, and he's you're trying to be in the part here, Connor. you can be honest.
I'm just glad I didn't say it and you said it. But I agree with you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I must pull us all up on this. We've been saying it wrong. It's York City legend Nick Pope.
York City legend Nick Pope. Sorry. I do apologise. I also need to also bring up, but Dan, this makes you a token straight man.
That's fine.
I didn't realise that.
Hey, I can appreciate it. Nick Pope's a handsome lad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kepa too.
What was that?
Pardon?
Kepa. I mean, when we're on the subject.
on the subject of kilts.
Of goalkeepers you'd like to bang, yeah, absolutely, we can go with that. It's difficult to watershed, absolutely hot to watershed. Yes, so it's all good. Right, so let's. Oh, hello. I heard another can crack open there. There we go, lovely. But we'll go to half past the hour just in case anything else comes through, and then we'll call it a night. Is there...
says the man who keeps saying he's getting tired and wants his bed. I'm
having so much fun here. I'm having so much fun here, and it's so much fun to have us all together for the first time in weeks. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Is there any deals still lurking around? Holding deal is confirmed. And the deal for Bellegarde from Lon is also done.
Who was the signing that Manchester United completed today from Fiorentina?
Sofian Amrabat,
yes. He's an attacking midfielder on loan with an option to buy. The sign in the chat is saying Henderson is a good keeper, but he's not top class. Ten Hag decided De Gea would be on his way out, but with had two of Henderson spent millions elsewhere. I think that says something, lads. I think that that's fair if he wants to get rid of Henderson, but he spent money bringing this goalkeeper in today when Kasper Schmeichel is a free agent.
Kasper Schmeichel's a free agent?
Yeah, he was given a free transfer today, so he can sign for anyone for free. Now, at any point, he's under an obligation. He's not bound by transfer window. He can sign for anyone he wants. So anyone that needing a goalkeeper, Bayern Munich, get yourself a Kasper Schmeichel. Is what I would do.
It could be Columbus Crew bound. You never know.
If he rocks out a Columbus Crew, I think Connor would start doing flips.
We're covered at the goalkeeper position right now. We got a homegrown player in Patrick Schulte back there.
But Kasper Schmeichel is a Premier League winner.
Mm-hmm. True.
He would certainly add something to even if it's just in the coaching side of things. Hello, we've
got an interview in the car.
Neil Maupay leaning out the window. It's not quite Harry Redknapp, but
and it's not Peter Odemwingie either, because Neil Maupay has completed his loan move from Everton to Brentford. Bit of an odd one.
That's big for Brentford.
Sorry, just to go back it's not big. They've got much better attacks.
With Tony's suspended to the new year, that's a big one for cover.
Yeah, I suppose so. So just go back to Si's comment about Henderson, Dean Henderson. That is, he's. I can't remember exactly what he said, but United supporting friends of mine have alluded to Henderson's sort of attitude and how vocal he is about being the number one without necessarily backing it up on the pitch for Forest and things like that. And maybe he's dug his own grave slightly with Ten Hag. So that could have been a factor.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like me saying, for example, the Volley is the #1 football show on SJP World Media. Could be the only football podcast on SJP World Media. But if someone else came along, they could be better than us, for example. And the fact that Henderson had no real rival at Forest.
And then the San Keelan Navas when he was injured, didn't they?
Mm.
Yeah, to answer Cam's question, on free agents, where do I think Eden Hazard ends up?
I said the catwalk. Is what I said.
Yeah. The fact he hasn't got a deal from somewhere yet, like you said before, when even the Saudi clubs aren't coming in for you, especially a player like Hazard who's high profile and
they still can.
Doesn't have.
They can.
They could do. But the Saudis have not been shy about going after who they want.
True, but given that some of the given they can't, the play they've been buying from Premier League clubs, who were saying, okay, fine, we've got time to replace them. Now they know that, Liverpool are no obligation to sell Salah, of course, but if they'd done it at the right time, we could have done, perhaps. They can't get the players they want now because, although our window's closed, they can still buy. They could sign Eden Hazard at any point, or Kasper Schmeichel at any point.
Yeah, to be fair, it might be Al Ittihad who sign Hazard when they realise they can't get Salah.
Could be indeed. Sai saying Schmeichel was not a free agent. We know started to deal with the new keeper, and anyone brought in now will be back up to Onana. That's fine.
True.
I'm talking about being back up to Onana. He would have been a better pick, cheaper pick, maybe than this guy you brought in from Turkey. But that's my opinion. I could be wrong. I usually am. And Sai was saying, Stan, you're spot on. Henderson seems to have some attitude to him. A bit of rough and ready. It's all good. It's fine.
Yeah, and it's riding that edge of competitiveness as well, potentially. The other thing to consider with Kasper Schmeichel, would he be happy going somewhere to be the backup, to have to fight for his place, or could we see him sign for Newcastle?
Well, Schmeichel.
Yeah.
At 36 years old, you're always going to be at a stage of your career, pretty much. Look at Scott Carson, hasn't played a game of football for 10 years.
He's played two. Sorry, Connor, go on.
I was just about to say, I watched some YouTube compilations of Peter Schmeichel for when he played with United. That's dude, he had that dog in him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, yeah. Peter Schmeichel was at the time before a once in a generation talent. Turns out he was once in every 2 generations talent.
Yeah, Schmeichel was fantastic.
Yeah,
he was an unreal keeper, and in that era you had.
That, yeah.
But he was the Premier League's best at that time, but in that era internationally you had Peter Schmeichel, you had Taparel for Brazil, you had Oliver Kahn, David Seaman,
was Schmidt. Can't think of his first name. Wore the headgear, played for Chelsea. Was he that era too? Czech.
No, he was after Schmeichel. There may have been some slight crossover, but Czech was more.
Petr Cech
was more 2000s. Peter Schmeichel was 90s.
Yeah, Petr Cech was definitely around the era when Mourinho took over, wasn't he? For sure.
Yeah, he was one of Mourinho's signings. He was part of the Abramovich era, and an absolutely stunning keeper. Did it for Chelsea and Arsenal. And Arsenal after the head injury.
Yeah, and actually, Petr Cech even more than that is single-handedly responsible for stopping the Super League from happening as well.
I need to watch some Peter Cech highlights.
You definitely do. In fact, there was a Chelsea side.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yes, one of the Chelsea sides from the early 2000s era, Mourinho's first run. I think they conceded 17 goals across an entire Premier League season. You had
they were the
Petr Cech, John Terry, I think Ashley Cole, left back. I think it might have been Ivanovic.
Paulo Ferreira first, and then Ivanovic came in after, and
Ricardo Carvalho.
Ricky Carvalho, yes, that was a defense which, if you come against that, you weren't getting through it. I remember. But having said that, I remember Yossi Bellingham scoring the winner last game of the season. Is he still playing high level ice hockey as well?
Who? Schmeichel?
Cam, who do you mean, buddy? There. Sai is saying at that time, 92-99-ish, Schmeichel was probably the best in the world. From 1996, definitely. Well, let's not forget, of course, Schmeichel is won the Euro 92, didn't they? Of course, Denmark went to the Euros as a substitute for Yugoslavia, so he won everything, isn't he? Cam is saying Petrol Cech.
Petrol Cech. That's Cam's classic autocorrect.
Petr Cech. No, Canon now. He's now Petrol Cech. That is now canon. That's with whole tag now. That is.
So
frustrating.
just to let you know, Petr Cech's ice hockey career started in 2019. Shockingly, he's a goaltender. He started in 2019 for Guildford Phoenix, played for them for 3 years, had a season at the Chelmsford Chieftains, and he's still playing ice hockey for Oxford City Stars.
Wow. Sorry, saying it frustrates him how many United fans debate De Gea or Piers Michael as the best ever for United. Van der Sar was unreal for them.
Van der Sar's underappreciated, I think, by a lot of people because his tenure wasn't that long. Peter Schmeichel was there for a good long while. De Gea has been there for a good long while and seen them through a fairly difficult period. Van der Sar.
Many seasons.
I hate praising Man United, but when you had De Gea in goal, when you had Van der Sar in goal, Ferdinand and Vidic at centre back, Patrice Evra at left back, and then it was briefly Gary Neville, but it was more Rafael at right back or Antonio Valencia. It was incredible. And Cam, I believe, saying the bald keeper is alluding to Fabian Barthez.
Yes, absolutely. You want to? Sorry, Connor. You're trying to say something.
Couple things actually. First off, I love the keeper talk because goalkeepers are one of my favorite positions to watch on the pitch. And as for a little bit of news that I've been seeing recently, it's quieted down. Current Columbus Crew right back, converted center back this season, Steven Moreira, the Frenchman, played a couple of seasons in Ligue 2 before coming over to Columbus at the end of the 2021 season. He is out of contract at the end of the season, so December, January, somewhere around that time. There were rumblings of European clubs interested in signing him if he can't reach a new deal with Columbus. But again, stay tuned to my socials. I'll definitely keep an eye on that. But I just hope that he stays because Moreira has become one of my favorite players to watch.
Sounds like a good enough reason to check out Connor at Connor's Footy on Twitter, for sure. It is time for us to hit the hay on this one, guys. Unfortunately, much as I'd love to stand and keep talking with these boys, it is time for us to hit the hay, as it were. A lot to put out that Cam called Barthez a badger.
That's a common turn of phrase up here when you want to say, oh yeah, that's who I mean, or that's the one you say, that's their badger.
Okay, but that doesn't really work as a writing phrase. Never mind. Sorry in the chat is saying he take the Van der Sar all day long. I don't. Yeah, you may as well put Massimo Taibi in the mix. You go start putting Fabian Barthez in the mix for goalkeepers, or Mark Bosnich, or Van der Hau. I could keep going with these, or
Tim Howard,
or Tim Howard,
Roy Carroll,
Roy Carroll. Yes.
This should be a subject during the international break, like a debate. Top 5 goalkeepers of all time.
Maybe you two should do that. Next week, maybe.
Dan,
we'll have a little chat. We'll have a little discussion in the group chat. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bosnich was an absolute nutter. Yes, he fucking was a coke sniffing nutter, and that is not liable because it's fucking true. He had a band friend.
He was convicted.
Yes. And so I was saying thank you for great evening, lads. I've loved it. It was our genuine pleasure, sir. Right. Okay, Connor, where can people get in touch with you on your socials?
My main social, the football one, if you just want to see my Fabrizio Romano retweets and hear what I have to say, I'm at Connor Knows Footy on Twitter/X. You can get in touch with me there. That's the best way. I do have a personal account that I don't use very much at Konor McCabe. You can also get on there as well. So there's 2 ways there you can get in touch with me.
Awesome stuff. Dan?
I'm just... Oh, I got it right. Dan, nearly. So close. Just down there, at Dan Griffin 21. usually tweeting about movies that are 6 weeks out of date. Oh, sorry, I'm getting my outro wrong now. Fuck it, I'm not going to do the proper one. I'm on Twitter at Dan Griffin 21. If you want to hear more of me talking about stuff on this very network on SJP World Media, I talk about Doctor Who with the boss man, Si Powell, on the Doctor Who pod. Look at one episode or serial per Doctor per series to see what lands for the classic Who stuff with me as a modern Who fan, and the reverse for Si. I'm also one half of the hosting duo on Unbooking the Territory with UTD Rob, where we look at the first and last of professional wrestling. Our two side projects, Unbooking the Tankatory and Unputting the Territory, have both ended. The former looks at the life and times in WCW of Tank Abbott, legitimately the hardest man that ever lived. And Unputting the Territory is even more niche, looking at the only time a wrestling championship has changed hands via legitimate sporting competition in the Being the Elite Gator Golf tournament. We do have some more side projects coming up. We haven't quite revealed them just yet, so I'm going to keep that under wraps for now.
That is absolutely fine. There is one more last bit of breaking news. Ian Matson from Chelsea turned down the contract offer from Burnley. He did not want to leave. So
Told you so.
Is off. And I'm just going to quickly switch myself with Connor, so I can do this. So I can do this quick little bit here. Because to follow me, you follow me down here at Matt Attack UK, or you can follow the show down there at the Volley Show. So that's all good. You can obviously follow the network at SJP World Media, and don't forget to check out the podcast feed when Si drops it next week, where we'll be reviewing Match Day 4 from the Premier League. Guys, take care, have a great weekend, and enjoy the footy. We are out of here.